It's a weird week,
You're
man.
telling me. I forgot today was Friday when I woke up. I woke up from work and I was like, oh, it's Friday. I thought yesterday was Friday.
That's usually, most people don't usually have that reaction. Usually it's like, woo, it's Friday. What's up?
Well, for some reason, my entire week, I didn't know what fucking day it was.
Oh, yeah.
I think part of it is because I didn't record until today.
Uh-huh.
And part of my brain is like, if you record on this day, it's this specific day.
Yeah.
And so I didn't do any of that shit all week. But I've also been fucked up all week because I helped my brother do something, so my body is just like has no fucking idea what anything is.
Well, hey, you know what? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's RageSelect Podcast Day is what day it is. Who cares when it happens?
Yeah.
I'm Jeff.
Oh, wait.
I wasn't expecting you to actually call out what day we're recording this, so I would like to just say I generally, the amount of time it takes to prepare the RageSelect Podcast is fairly immense, and because of some scheduling, we switch this over to Friday. There are some stories here that have been updated since Friday, but I prepared my links on Wednesday, so you guys got to pretend like it's Wednesday, my dudes.
Well, we normally do this on
Thursday. Yeah, I usually prepare it on Wednesday night, so it's not too outdated on Thursday.
Okay.
But now it's a whole day after, and there's some shit in here.
It's the day after tomorrow, guys.
The timeline is all confused. Like, I don't want to talk about time travel. Michael, I don't want to talk about time travel. Then we're going to be here all day. You're going to be talking about who's who and what's where. It's just a big problem. So yeah, but it was a very light week of stuff. I feel like last week there was the Gamescom, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? Not next week, but the week after is TGS.
Is that next week?
It's in the middle of September. Not next week, but the week after.
Okay.
I guess when this is coming out on Sunday, it's like the 15th of this month or something around there. So, wow. And then it's just full on downhill into the end of the year because then we're in like October, November, December releases. We got God of War coming up
at that point. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. So let's see. Before we get into the news, I watched 2 1-hour premieres of beloved fantasy shows that have been brought back for a new season, both of which their previous entries ended with a wet fart that nobody liked. So, which would you like to hear about?
I'd like to. Okay, so before I say this,
yes,
my friends have been using this as an acronym, and it made me laugh because I didn't realize what they're saying at first.
Yes,
they say Hot D, and I was staring at my Facebook chat
the Hot
for
D.
like 2 minutes, trying to figure out what the fuck they were saying.
Yep.
Until I realized it stood for House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon. Yeah, I watched that. It was okay. Actually, I'm gonna.
It turns out Hot D is a great acronym because your first thought when you think of Game of Thrones is wiener.
I want to take a sideways Jag. I asked you that question. It was a trap.
You watched Jag as well?
I was. Yeah. I want to talk about Jag. That's what I want to talk about.
Jag,
the
which
new
was
season
the
of
prequel
Jag.
to NCIS.
No, okay, so Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, both of those, one of them dropped last week, one of them dropped this week.
Okay.
I watched the first episode of both of them. I'm gonna ask you, you didn't watch Game of Thrones?
No. Didn't watch any of it.
Did you watch the Lord of the Rings?
No.
No, really?
Yeah, for reals.
Okay,
for reals, no. I played Shadows of Mordor.
Okay.
And I started, what was the second one?
Shadow of War. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the problem. Here's the problem that I have. Game of Thrones was for like 10 years, right? It was like 10 years of Game of Thrones.
That was a while.
And everybody was talking about it. And now it's just dead. It's gone because the last season was such a clusterfuck that everybody was like, oh, I guess I didn't actually like that. Go fuck yourself.
No.
Lord of the Rings, very, very popular trilogy. The Hobbit, hot garbage. The Hobbit Part 2 and 3, nobody ever talks about those things.
No.
Like, nobody watches them all over and over again.
The only time they talk about The Hobbit is because Topher Grace decided to edit all 3 together.
Yeah.
When he was making Black Klansman. Because he did it as a stress reliever because he had to play a racist. So as stress relieving, he edited The Hobbit together.
So I guess what I'm saying is that, like, and by the way, person who is typing right now, I know some people liked the end of Game of Thrones. I know some people like The Hobbit. It's fine, but nobody talks about it. It's not a big thing, you know.
They both got thrown out of pop culture pretty fast.
Yeah. So The problem that I'm having is like the first episode of both, they were fine.
Yeah.
You know, you got Matt Smith over here. He's fucking going around being a creepy weirdo. There's a whole, you got dragons. You got fucking the history of the gold cloaks and fucking all the games on all the Iron Throne. It's full of. So I do like the fact that the king has like. Keeps cutting himself on the Iron Throne, and I'm just like, yeah, it's made out of swords, you dumb bitch. Like,
yeah, it's a terrible fucking
put
throne.
a blanket over that. Get an Afghan or something like.
Just get an actual chair. Get like the Knives Out chair where the knives go into each other.
Yes, yeah. Put a bunch of fake swords on the Iron Throne. And you know, Lord of the Rings. It's young Galadriel, and she's looking for Sauron, and like, oh, what happened? Did he go away? Here's the history of the elves, and here's some new hobbitses, and here's bullshit. The problem that I have is that I have no faith in either one of these franchises anymore.
No, that's fair.
Like, who knows whether it's going to be good? Like, these first 2 episodes, they were fine. They were acceptable. Neither one of them was, like, hot garbage, you know?
No.
None of them were terrible. None of them were bad. None of them were Resident Evil on Netflix. They were fine, but the problem is that I just don't know that I'm willing to commit to 8 seasons that may end up being shit at the end. That may end shittily,
or it might just get canceled.
Like HBO, yeah, probably. Who knows? Amazon may get tired. Bezos may be like, get him out of here. I don't want those hobbitses. So I had an idea. Instead of doing the thing that every series does now where they have to have like this overarching plot line where every episode ties into the next episode, you know, you're never going to go back and watch that's not true. You may go back and watch a single episode. But like, what about doing these as like anthologies where you have not even anthologies, but just episodic television like we used to have, where like, you've got the first part, and it's a whole self-contained story that doesn't lead into the next thing. And the next part, maybe it's like a 2-parter where it's like, oh, let's go on over to the Vale or like, you know, the Rohirrim and have a little 2-parter about the guys over there. And then maybe we'll go back to that first person, and then, you know, maybe they're having a different adventure this week. And then maybe eventually it all starts to tie together, but that you could just like watch episode 5 without having watched episode 1 through 4 and get a complete storyline, kind of like Doctor Who, right? Like,
yes, I never really watched that either.
Or Star Trek, or you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Anything that was made like before Breaking Bad, right? Like,
yeah, there was a time frame where episodic stuff was very normal.
Yeah,
it was you could watch sitcoms and not have to worry about it being an overarching plot.
Yeah, because my problem is that like I work on a merit system, Michael. So if you have done me right, then I will be excited for your next thing.
Yeah.
And if you've done me wrong, then I am not excited for your next thing. And the problem is that both of these franchises have done me real dirty. And so I'm like, there was nothing objectionable about these episodes, but I don't want to get invested. Like I've been hurt too many times by medieval things by dusty authors to get invested in one of these, because who knows if they shit the bed in season 3, and then I've spent years of my life watching a thing when they have a track record of bad. You need good. You need a track record of good before I'm going to trust you. Like,
well, that's the thing. It's not like these series were Sonic the Hedgehog games, right, where they're just terrible for the most part. Like, it's not like they had one good season and they lasted like 10 years after that.
Yes.
Like, no, they lasted for so long that it's like if Breaking Bad was really good and then the last season it turns out that Heisenberg was an alien or something.
Right.
And that was the ending of it for some reason.
Yeah.
Like it's like you would be confused. You'd be like, and then they were like, and then we made Gran Torino, or is that the name of it, Gran Torino or whatever? Was it the name of the movie?
Yes.
It's like if they made that and they'd be like, isn't this going to be, would you excited for this? You would not be, based on the ending of that show.
Right.
And and then if they made Better Call Saul right after that, you would definitely not be excited if it turns out Jesse was a demon or something. You'd be like, what the fuck are you people doing over and over again?
A demon and an alien make meth.
Yeah. Actually, that does sound amazing. But you would be very confused, is what I'm saying. So you would not be excited for Better Call Saul.
We have to cook Beelzebub.
Even if it was amazing, you would be very wary. It's kind of how I was with Naruto. When Naruto ended, or when the main actual manga part of it ended, there was a lot of filler.
Yeah.
And then so Shippuden was coming out, and I was like, well, I'm not excited because you spent 2 seasons of just throwing filler at me. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Right. So I don't know. I'm thinking like, I think I'm gonna say, you know what the other problem though is, Michael, is that we are living in an age where there's so much good shit to watch.
There's too much stuff.
That it's like I don't need to take a chance. I don't need to ABBA on these fucking shows. Like I can wait for them to be 4 seasons in, and people are like, no, it's really good. Instead of like, every week be like, oh, I gotta watch the next episode. So
I only do that for things that I'm really into.
yeah. I got soccer animes to watch. I got What We Do in the Shadows. I gotta see what happens on Flip Your Shit or whatever. What was the name of the Go Flip Yourself?
Go Flip Yourself, yeah. That episode was amazing, by the way.
Anyway, sorry, I went on for too long about Middle Earth. Michael, what have you been up to this week?
So speaking of things that have been out for a while, I finally watched the Streaming Wars.
Oh,
for
South Park, yeah.
And I was laughing the entire fucking time.
So good, right?
Because it was just such a perfect make fun of streaming services in general.
Yeah.
As well as just making fun of South Park itself.
Yeah.
At the same time. And it was just so good.
But then there's that montage at the end of the first episode of everybody using water in a drought, which even when that happened, we were in semi-drought conditions here in Texas, and it was just it was very kind of like, oh shit, this is like a real statement, kind of like
it's hard to watch 100,000% more now.
Yeah,
because there's a little city right now that has no water.
Yeah,
kind of thing, and it was just like, well, maybe they can use the pee-pee, right. But which was my favorite fucking gag in the entirety of the second episode.
The fact that they brought him back as the main antagonist.
It was amazing, and there's an entire sequence of celebrities having to endorse drinking pee.
Yep,
and it's one of the funniest fucking things I've ever watched in my life.
That was great
because it was making fun of Matt Damon's crypto commercial.
Yep,
and every time he had to sip the pee, he's like, "Fortune favors the brave."
Yep,
fortune favors the brave, and I just would lose it every fucking. I'm never gonna watch that commercial without losing my shit the second he says "Fortune favors the brave."
Yeah, it was really good.
It's so fucking.
It was
funny.
really good.
It was fantastic.
And then it was also very weird. Like the first episode, I don't know how familiar you are, but all the Chinatown reference, the water inspector guy was just he was dressed like Jack Nicholson from Chinatown, and it was just, and Chinatown was about water rights in California, and it was just such a weird pull where it was like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Well, that's just how they've always been.
Yeah,
they'll grab whole plot lines from a movie either certain people of certain ages have watched or people have never heard of in their entire lives.
Yeah,
and just go beat for beat, and you'll be like, this is amazing. It's like, yes, because it's literally that movie, but with dumb shit on top of it, like that heavy metal episode.
Yes, yeah,
where it's just full of references to heavy metal, and people are like, how did they come up with this? Like, it's just fucking heavy metal.
Yeah,
but
with
also
the sick boobs.
But there's but in the middle of a cat pee getting high sequence.
Yes,
that's all this is.
Yeah,
but that's the best thing about it, is that you have all these sequences that happen to be in the middle of some man bear pig shit,
right?
And you're just like, yeah, let's do this shit. I'm on board. Let's
It's very weird.
Let's make fun of Karen.
It's very weird. Oh, the Karen stuff with Randy in part 2 was amazing.
So good.
And Cartman's boobs in part 1 were also amazing.
Oh my God.
They were just, the whole
I'm
thing
so
was
proud of
really
Cartman's
amazing. Mom. Anyway, yes. I actually think that between the Beavis and Butthead movie, the South Park Streaming Wars, and Star Trek Lower Decks, that Paramount Plus actually has a good chunk of stuff.
It's getting a good upswing right now.
Yeah.
Because they also have their other Star Trek shows, if you guys are into those shows as well.
Just don't watch Picard Season 2. I thought Picard Season 1 was okay, but I literally stopped watching Season 2. It was so bad.
There's also a really great Reno 911 movie on Paramount Plus.
Oh, okay. There
called
you go.
The Hunt for Q.
Okay.
For QAnon. It's a QAnon movie.
Oh God.
Gag. They're tasked with finding Q and arresting them. So they go undercover on a QAnon cruise ship.
No.
And it's fucking amazing.
Oh my God.
I highly recommend it.
I
if you
gotta
haven't
watch
seen
that.
it. It's
I gotta
really
watch
funny.
that. See, what I got Reno 911 movies over here. What do I need to put my faith in fucking Middle Earth for?
It's really funny. This came out a while back too.
Anyway, all right. Well, let's roll down these newses. We don't have as much news, so unless it gets real verbose, we might actually do some questions. Somebody asked,
perhaps.
Somebody made this real passive aggressive, just no questions statement on the last podcast. It's like, I asked the people if they wanted questions
And
back.
we did not hear from you.
Well, no, and the majority of people said, no, I like the format just fine. So
No, I'm saying the guy who made the comment, because I read the comments or the other ones. I don't know for a fact you said nothing.
So, all right. The PS5 is getting more expensive.
But not here.
Yes, but not here. This is very weird. Apparently,
And by here, I mean America.
I've never actually seen this happen before in my lifetime.
It's rare.
Like 2 years into a console, the price of the console is going up, not down. Like
I've never seen
normally
it.
there'd be a price cut or the beginning of a hardware revision. But yes, the
only time I've seen it was when the 360 got more memory.
Oh, okay.
But that made sense because they got differences.
Right. Yeah, this is the exact same thing. So, yeah, Canada, Europe, UK, Australia, Mexico, China, and Japan are all basically getting a $50 price hike on the PS5s moving forward, which is the stated reason is because of inflation and supply chain issues. It's kind of weird because we all know that, consoles generally, or maybe people don't know. It's been a long time since I've said this out loud. You know it, obviously. I don't know if people know it. Most consoles are either sold for the first few years either at cost or below cost. Like Sony, Microsoft usually sell at a loss in order to get the consoles into people's houses, and then they make it up on software sales.
Exactly.
So you got to think that if the price of everything is going up, normally it would be that the production gets streamlined, right? Like first gen systems, they get better chips, they get new board revisions.
No.
They see how they work in the real world. They get better processes. They get better fab lines set up, right? And they're suddenly
slimmer, that sort of thing.
They're able to produce. There's usually a no cosmetic V2 version where the insides have been streamlined in a way that makes it so that it can be cheaper.
Yeah.
So then they'll knock some of the price off of it. Usually it's the exact same looking model.
Black or something.
Yeah.
That's the only difference usually on the outside.
Well, I mean, the first revision for the PS3, they just took out the backwards compatibility, right?
Yeah, that was taken out. They made it slight. They made it a little skinnier. That's the thing.
The glossy one. There were a bunch of different PS3.
I remember them making it skinnier, but because there's a bunch of different versions of the skinny one.
Yeah,
is the thing.
The ones that look like not that.
No, not like that one. But but it's been a while because this was a long time ago. Because you have one closer to the one that I was thinking of down there.
Because I think there was a second version of that one where they took the Emotion Engine stuff out.
Well, that's the thing is I didn't have the money at the time, so I didn't pay attention to the PS3 the same way. But the skinnier version of the PS3 had they had that slide one eventually. That was the end game one.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense to you guys. But I know the 360 was that it was a white one, and then they made the Elite one, which was the black one. Where that was more expensive, but it had a higher hard drive on it.
I believe Elite was the first version that had the HDMI port built in.
Yes,
as opposed to component.
Because I had one that was before the component one. Yeah, for years, for the HDMI one, and we had the wire for the component, the HD wire they made. If you remember that fucking thing.
Yep, I do.
And then even the Wii, they made different versions of that one that were just slightly different colors, but they were just either slightly different in the insides. That sort of thing. A lot of these consoles do get changes. Even the Super Nintendo has a change one.
Yep.
They had the original, and then there's the one that looks like the European model.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which my friend had one of those.
Yeah.
This happens all the time.
Yeah.
The PlayStation, the PS1, that kind of thing.
The main thing is just that we don't normally see a price increase.
No.
Right? That's
especially
kind of crazy.
This early on.
And the thing is that I don't like this. I think that Sony should eat it. I think they should eat the price increase and at least keep it the same as it is right now.
Because the U.S. is the only one that's not going in, right?
Yes, the U.S. is not getting a price increase, and when they talked about it, it was specifically because they realized that basically it came down to okay, what it is it that the United States is the only United States is the biggest purchaser of consoles. It's also the most competitive. So if they raise the price in the United States, they would be handing Microsoft all those sales.
Here's my favorite thing about this story, by the way.
Yeah.
Is that the general public has no idea that this is happening.
Yes.
The general public thinks that the general public right now, according to Twitter at least, thinks that the price has gone up everywhere.
Yes.
And it's kind of funny because it reminds me of what happened with the Xbox One and people not knowing that the news was different.
Right. The other
depending on where you were.
the other reason, according to this Polygon article that I was reading, is that apparently the dollar, the U.S. dollar, is stronger.
It's actually stronger than a lot of others.
Global
right
currency has actually become weaker because of pandemic and supply issues and blah 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 blah. There's a war. There's a fucking war in Europe right now.
There was that news that it was for the first time in like a long time. The dollar is either stronger or the equal amount to the
euro
pound.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I think it was also the euro or something like that. But
I think it's equal
one
to.
of the two. But it was the first time in like ages.
Yeah,
because usually it's higher.
Yeah,
and that's kind of the reason why these prices tend to be a lot higher normally.
Yeah,
but now with inflation, it's hit them that much harder.
Yeah. So it's so funny because part of this is this story has quotes from Michael Pachter, and I'm like, that's a name I've not heard in a long time.
No one's heard that name in a long time. Fucking hell.
I want to make it very clear that, like I said, I think that Sony should eat this. I think that they are a profitable enough company, and they sell enough of these. The dirty little secret, though, here, Michael, is that this is not going to affect the sales.
No.
At all. Like, the PS5s are still just immediately sold out everywhere. Like, I'm pretty sure you can now, with a little digging, you can get a Series X. You can get a Switch.
You can, yeah.
But, like, the PS5 is still just, like, hot tamales. And I'm pretty sure the other thing, I'm sorry, I'm kind of all over the place, but the other thing is that because the PS5 has so much custom hardware in it, they can't, when the supply chain issues come down, they can't swap to other parts. Because of the way that the hard drive bus is set up with that custom high-speed hard drive, you can't just swap out for different Foxconn pieces, right? Like the Xbox can.
The Series X has a lot more switchable components. Yeah, and its storage expansion is a lot easier to make more of, right, compared to the SSD for the PS5. Yeah, so it's interesting, and I think that and then again, one of the other factors to put out there that everybody's got to remember, right, is what the thing that I keep saying over and over again is that we always tend to forget, but like everywhere else but the United States, PlayStation fucking rules that sector of the market. Oh, 100%.
Europe is a PlayStation fucking continent. Japan is a PlayStation country. Like, PS5s are they want those more than Xboxes there. Like, Xbox is just so sad. Every time they talk about Japan, they're just like, hey, we're really trying. We're really gonna make an effort this quarter to like get, I don't know, like one thing that maybe they'd like, and maybe they'll buy some of them. Like, yeah,
that's why it was such a big deal that Dragon Ball FighterZ was announced at the Xbox thing, because that was them being like, look at us, Japan, we love you guys, Dragon Ball, isn't that cool? Yeah. And then the announcement came out, by the way, it's also coming out for PlayStation. So people were like, oh, well, fuck that then. They just threw their Xboxes to the corner. The only reason the Series X sold well at all was because people couldn't find PS5s. Mm-hmm. That was literally what was going on in Japan.
It's funny though, because it's so interesting to think about what we know of the history of basically the console wars, right? Yeah. And the idea that it's like Sony is swinging back to their arrogant stance that they had pre PS4 in the PS3 era.
Yeah, they're going back to PS3 version ideas of what their power is.
Yeah, and they're right for right now, but it's worth pointing out that like, if they fuck around too hard, they will find out, because Microsoft is hungry and they are like nipping at their heels. Right?
Oh, they're spending the money again. Yeah, because when the Xbox came out, it got its ass beat because they spent a little money on it. Yeah, but not a lot. But when the 360 came out, they spent a ton of money on advertising. Yep, like to the point where like Halo was a household name. And Gears of War was a household name to people who didn't give a shit about these things. Yes. Like they had live action trailers. Mm-hmm. They had that Mad World trailer for Gears of War that everyone fucking remembers, kind of thing. Like all of these things became pop culture things. Yeah. To the point where people made fun of them because it was easy, because everyone knew what they were. Right. Whereas PlayStation 3 had these weird fucking commercials.
Oh my god, yes, with the
that-
baby head,
Yeah,
melting baby head.
got people talking, but not the way you wanted them to.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it wasn't like you talking about a game. It was you talking about, do you see that weird fucking thing, Sony? Oh my god, this was the era of the nut commercial for the PSP. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Again.
Yep.
I got them talking, but
Yep.
not the way you kind of wanted them to.
Or that crazy fucking billboard when they put out the white PSP of
Yes.
that woman in white holding that black woman's face.
Exactly.
It was just like, what the
It was
fuck?
all advertising that made no sense to anyone.
Yep.
Other than whoever fucking made that idea.
I mean, the thing is that maybe Sony's maybe their thinking on this is they're just trying to get as much as they can in the short term because they see on the horizon, like, I don't know, man, 2 years from now, the fucking landscape of gaming could look really different once these studios that Microsoft has bought start fucking producing video games.
That's kind of the issue right now, is that we're in a weird spot where normally at this point we would be getting some games that people call the must-haves.
Right.
And there's a few that you could argue that for, like Horizon you could argue that for, Forza you could argue that for.
Sure.
You can't really argue that with some of even their other staples like you used to.
Yeah.
Even Halo Infinite, you can't make that argument the way you used to because of the PC.
Definitely not.
Some of the Last of Us, or some of the big Sony ones, you can't make that argument as much of because a lot of those have been coming out on PC recently.
Yep.
So and
I mean, The Last of Us Part 1 is coming out this month, and it's like, guys, that game has been released twice already.
Dude, right. Speaking of which, I was at a half price book yesterday.
Yeah.
In the clearance section was for the PS4 remastered version of Last of Us for like $5.
Yep.
I almost bought it because I was like, well, maybe. But
Do you get a free upgrade if you put that disc into your PS5?
I don't think you do, but like that would be kind of amazing if you did.
So yeah, so we'll have to see how this goes. But I think that this could be, Sony got super fucking humbled by the PS3 era when they lost their shit, and the PS4 era was really good. But I mean, even the fucking chassis of the PS5 is like, to me, I'm seeing the creeping encroachment of that Sony bullshit where they get all fucking farts don't stink and then make dumb decisions that nobody likes.
Yeah, you look at the console, and I get what they were going for.
Yep.
They wanted it to look futuristic, and I like mine because I have the white faceplate still. But I get why people wanted it to be all black because it does make it look less insane. But the issue I have, it comes down to like how the fucking thing stands.
Yep.
Because either you stand it up or you put it on the side with this weird fucking adapter thing to keep it held up.
So weird.
Even the placement of the disc holder makes no sense to me.
No.
If it was the other way around, no one would have said shit.
Yep.
But the way it is right now, it makes it fucking confusing.
Yep.
We're in a weird age where the consoles are fucking massive again. The reason I say again because that used to be the norm way back.
They're dumb shapes.
day.
They're dumb shapes.
They're all
Let's
dumb
just say,
shapes.
Xbox Series X, dumb fucking shape. Fucking PS5, dumb fucking shape. Nintendo Switch in a cradle, also dumb fucking shape. They're
true.
all dumb fucking shapes.
None of them are easily.
I wish
put
one of
in
them
there,
was
yes.
You know what I wish? I wish that the Series X had the Series S profile. Just a fucking, like, lay it down on its side.
I could be cool with that, yeah.
Fucking Xbox Series X or Xbox One X. Fucking big black rectangle that I could shove under my television. Well, speaking of that big black rectangle, we also got the news that Microsoft and Nintendo have both said that they are not going to be raising their prices.
It's a good move.
However, their statements leave a little bit of weasel room. So, like Xbox says, we are constantly evaluating our business to offer our fans great gaming options. Our Xbox Series S suggested retail price remains at $299, and this Xbox Series X is $499. This also applies to other markets and their current pricing. I guess I would never expect a corporation to be like, that's the way it's going to be. We're never going to raise it. We'll only lower it forever. That's my fucking Phil Spencer guarantee to you, customer. I don't know why he's a wrestler in this particular analogy, but like, but there's that. And then Nintendo's statement was similar. I mean, it was just a bunch of corporate speak, basically. Our competition is the variety of entertainment in the world, and we always think about pricing in terms of value of fun we offer. Nintendo has sold more than 100 million Switch units so far, and it's important to maintain the momentum of our overall business. I mean, Nintendo kind of they had the OLED version, of the Switch that came out.
Yeah, that was the closest thing to a price hike, and it was not. They still sell the normal Switches,
but they still added something to it for the for the money. I guarantee you, though, if their Switches started losing money per unit, they would do something. They may not raise the price, but they would do something.
Oh no, they absolutely would. Although they're the few that don't do big revisions to their hardware. Like the GameCube didn't get a revision. The Switch or the Wii didn't really get all that much of a revision. They added a couple things to it at most.
There was a second version that had integrated HDMI port. The first ones only had components.
Really, the only thing like that, and they changed the controller, and that was it.
Yeah, the Wii Motion Plus.
The Wii Motion Plus was added.
Yeah,
the Wii U got nothing. They just sort of threw it out there and hoped for the best.
Were there even other colors of the Wii U?
There were. There was a white one and a black one, and I think that was it.
Okay.
I want to say there was one other one, but it was like a special edition that no one fucking remembers.
Okay.
And that was it. They did.
We'll get back to that.
It died very fast.
Get back to that later.
Those poor bastards.
Yeah. So probably don't have to worry about that. Let's see. One of the other big things that happened from Sony last week was Sony and Tencent teamed up and made a big investment into From Software. Of all the buy-in companies news, this one is kind of interesting. So Tencent, I don't know. Okay, I found out a lot of weird shit. Right? Do you know? Tencent is like a Chinese-owned investment company that owns a lot.
They own a lot. They used to be the guys that were in the news all the time, like the way Embracer was.
Yeah.
They bought something every 20 seconds.
Yep. They bought Riot Games. They bought Funcom. They've got 40% stake in Epic Games. Supercell that makes Clash of Clans. Fat Shark that makes the Warhammer Vermintide series. Tequila Works that made Deadlight. They also have a 5% stock in Activision Blizzard, which is going to be sold off as part of that deal. But so Tencent, big Chinese investment company, kind of like Embracer, but Chinese. I know there's a lot of people that get real weird side eyes about Tencent, but
they used to be the one everyone was like, they're spies every 20 seconds.
Right. By the way, I'm sorry. I don't know if side eye is like culturally inappropriate, but if it is, I apologize. If not, I think you all know what I meant.
Well, side eye, I've never heard that as a culturally inappropriate one. It's usually just somebody it's usually somebody looking at somebody from the side of their eye like a crazy person.
Right. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
That was my understanding. I did not know there was anything else attached to it.
I'm 40. I'm over 40, right? Like I'm a boomer. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Now I want to look it up because now I don't want to seem racist.
So yeah, Tencent bought 16.25%. And Sony bought 14.09%, giving them a combined 30% stake in From Software. The rest of the From Software stock is owned by From Software's parent corporation, which is Katakawa Corporation.
Katakawa?
Yeah, like I had to look this up. Katakawa is a big like media conglomerate. Like there's a bunch of animes that are Katakawa animes. Like ReZero is Katakawa. There's like a bunch of them that are very specifically.
We're in the clear.
Katakawa. Okay, great. You pulled up the racism app to be like, type this in. Is it racist.com?
I looked it up in Urban Dictionary, and usually they're pretty good about it.
Okay.
The closest one is there's one called the Belgian side eye.
Oh,
but that I didn't even look into the definition for that one.
You know what they say about Belgians? Great waffles. That's what
I love their waffles. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this is actually it's interesting that that Sony. I get the impression that Sony probably wanted to purchase From Software, but that From Software was like, no.
Yeah. They're probably like, we want to be our own guys still.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
But it is good for them too. I mean, like at this point, that's a great move for them because Elden Ring is, I mean, guys, I actually, one of these articles that I was looking at made this statement, and I didn't fact check it, but everybody else can. It sounded true where they were like, right now, Elden Ring is the top-selling game of 2022.
Oh my god!
And I'm
that makes sense though.
It makes sense, right? Yeah. What else? I mean, like it's probably not going to last till the end of the year. We still got Call of Duty and God of War and all that shit.
Once
right?
that Sonic Frontiers comes out or whatever, they're in trouble.
But that makes sense, right? It sold like gangbusters.
Yeah, fucking immediately.
Yeah,
I bought it.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't even buy fucking Dark Souls, any of them.
Yeah,
I bought Bloodborne and that was it. I didn't even look at Demon Souls Direction.
Yep. Demon's Souls Remake is real fucking hot.
It's actually. I might try it because it's on my the PlayStation Premium or whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, this I think this is a good move, and it's actually leading to a point where From Software has said that they might start publishing, might start some minor publishing, because with the big capital investment from Sony and Tencent, it means that they can probably fund their next game and then have some money left over, which if you have a little bit of money in game development, you can use it to publish somebody else's game and then yank in percentages on that shit over and over and over again.
Make Metal Wolf Chaos too, you cowards.
They're probably not going to do that. To be honest, like, the thing is, I'm kind of curious. Take your bets. Will it be, what will come out next? Armored Core or DLC for Elden Ring?
DLC for Elden Ring.
Because I bet that Armored Core game is done. Like, I bet it is finished.
Here's the thing. I forgot that it existed.
Yeah.
Until you said it out loud.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, but now it makes me think the Elden Ring will come out first, because I forgot Armored Core was still a thing.
Yeah, it's possible.
Which is a shame, because I used to love Armored Core.
Well, but it's also like, again, From Software's a Japanese-ass company. Like,
it's true.
They're not like Square, where they get all weirded out about like what the gaming press or America think. Like, they've just been fucking, they had their head down, plodding forward with games, and then for some reason I still don't understand why Elden Ring was the thing.
Oh, this was an accident. You could tell.
Just as fucking esoteric as everything else, right? It's not any more accessible than any of the rest of that
it's
shit.
It's not like super gorgeous or anything either.
Nope. It's not like it's blowing the doors off in the graphics department. I don't think there's enough George R. Martin stands out there that are like, well, that super hard game that I never wanted to play, but this one's written by George R. Martin, so I definitely want to play this one.
And it doesn't tell you anything, though.
Yeah.
You explained to me what's actually going on in it, and it was like, what's that movie, The Usual Suspects,
right?
Where you drop like a mug and it shatters, and you're like, oh my god, everything makes sense now.
Erd Tree was written on the bottom of the fucking cup.
You looked around, and if I said any of it, it would spoil it, but I would just look at around, you're like, oh my god, it all makes sense now.
That just always reminds me, have you seen the Key and Peele sketch that's the takeoff of that scene?
Oh yeah,
where he's looking at the cat, and he's like, his name was Catman Hang Baby. Don't say cat. Don't say cat.
Don't you say it.
So yeah, good news From Software. I'm glad, because I feel like From Software have been doing. They haven't been doing the flashy shit. They've just been like cranking it out, appealing to people, but then also doing crazy. They put out that PSVR game where you're like going into the dreams of a dying girl or whatever.
Oh, that was them,
Daracene,
Oh shit.
I want that. You say Metal Wolf Chaos. I'm like, make a new fucking Kingsfield, you sons of bitches.
Like,
like,
go for it.
Or
PS5 VR's coming out.
What's that? Just remaster Dark Tower? Something Tower.
Now you're just saying tower.
Shadow Tower?
Stop circling it.
From Software. Shadow, what is it? What is it called?
I don't know. You're the one saying it.
Shadow Tower.
You keep just saying tower.
Shadow Tower. Shadow Tower was a PlayStation 1 game. Boom.
That was actually the name of it, guys.
Yep.
Color me surprised.
And then there was a second one called Shadow Tower Abyss that never came out in the United States.
I've never heard of any of those.
From Software is a huge back catalog of shit nobody's ever heard of.
That's true. Metal Wolf Chaos was only got noticed because of early Let's Play channels discovered it.
Yep.
And it became this huge fucking gag.
I played Shadow Tower Abyss on an emulator for, I think, solo with no co-host for the Asylum one year, which is a dungeon crawler, but you play a modern Marine that gets like transported into a dungeon, so you literally have a gun.
Ooh.
So it's like a first-person Kingsfield style horror dungeon crawler with a machine gun. What? Am I trying to make Mid-Journey props over here? What is this?
That sounds like a fucking Mad Lib.
Yeah. So yeah. Let's see, but that's not the only news that we had, because we also found that Sony bought this studio called Savage Game Studios, who's primarily a mobile game developer.
Oh, okay.
This actually was really interesting, Michael, because it made me think about, like, even Nintendo has gotten into the mobile game sphere, but like Sony really isn't.
Which is surprising considering.
Yeah. In fact, part of the Destiny, part of the Bungie purchase was they wanted their expertise in live service. Like Sony has been, I think they see the changes coming, right?
Yeah.
They're actually about 5 years past the changes. The changes are already here.
Oh no, yeah.
But they just haven't been keeping up with it because they don't have their own first party live service game, and they've tried, I think, a few times, but it always is shit.
For the most part, yeah.
They keep trying shit, but I think they've realized that like they're not good at it. PlayStation All-Stars was a bad game. Like
it was a nice attempt, but the fact that they're like, well, to make it different, you can't kill each other with damage.
Right.
You got to use your supers, and it's like, but that's stupid.
Yes.
Like it doesn't matter how good you are until somebody. All you have to do is get the one super that's better than everybody else's and kill everybody on the stage, and you win.
Yeah.
Because it's difficult. It was dumb.
Mag did not take off.
Mag did not take off. No.
Planet Side was not burning up the charts.
No,
Like
not even PlayStation Home fucking took off.
Nope, not really. Yeah, PlayStation Home, this whole virtual world got its lunch eaten by just Xbox avatars.
Yeah, which was amazing.
Bring that back, you cowards. So yeah, apparently this Savage Game Studios has been working on an unannounced AAA mobile live service game. No, actually, I'm sorry. One of the other things that this got me thinking about was apparently, you know what? I keep forgetting about this, Michael, but when Microsoft buys Activision, they're getting Activision Blizzard King. King should be in there too,
yeah,
right?
That's true. Yeah, they are.
Like Candy Crush makes a shitload of money.
Halo Candy Crush.
Also, not worth forgetting, but like apparently Diablo Immortal made $100 million in the first month that it was out. Yes,
shit.
Like we all sit around looking down our noses, fucking eating our fine brie or fine gaming cheeses and wines, but like. No, a bunch of people put a bunch of money into that shit. Like,
there's the whales. A lot. Honestly, that game was definitely made for people out of country.
Yeah.
That's probably where most of that money came from.
So, yeah, I actually think, the Savage Game Studios are unknown. They haven't done anything. They haven't done anything yet. They're still very much in the development. But like, yeah, Sony kind of needs to get in the game because fucking Nintendo's got like the Mario Kart Online and Fire Emblem Heroes, and they had that Animal Crossing game, and
they had quite a few phone games.
There was that Dr. Mario game that apparently they shut down. I didn't know that. But
I'm not surprised by that. They had Miitopia at one point, which some people liked. I liked it a lot at first.
Yeah.
But I lost track of it pretty quickly.
So yeah, we'll see if I don't know. Part of me wonders what it's going to look like, or whether Sony can get their shit together to actually put out good. Like, I think they've realized they can't do it first party.
No, but
can they make the good third party choices to be able to do it? They've made some pretty good third party choices, so
they've had a really good track record with that. But we'll see how it plays out.
Yep. Oh, I just cannibalized my own article. The next story was basically about Microsoft wanting Activision because of the mobile stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like Phil Spencer said specifically, like they wanted a lot of the mobile expertise, because also there's a Call of Duty mobile, right?
That's true.
Like there's a lot going on there that we just kind of glossed over. Again, I can't believe I just completely forgot the third pillar of that company.
Well, because it's a part of the gaming community that me and you don't pay attention to.
That is correct. It was 100% correct. So yeah, $100 million in 8 weeks after it launched Diablo Immortal.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. You guys got to stop spending money on this shit. Stop spending money on this shit, please.
It was all from that one guy who can't fight anybody. Who's stuck
yeah.
Threw himself in the Phantom Zone.
Yes, the fucking guy. Whatever happened to that guy? Fucking out-leveled, like paid his way to be at the top of the list, and now he can't play the game anymore because there's nobody strong enough to challenge him.
There's nobody.
Because everybody else is still working on their, 150-year grind cycle to get up to max level.
Can't even get close to his ass.
Yeah.
He's the king of everything.
That's true.
Legends say he's still waiting.
Let's see. From there, Detroit Quantic Dream got bought by NetEase, Chinese company.
That's neat.
Apparently, this has been kind of working in the works for a little while. NetEase also owns Grasshopper Manufacturer. And
Wow,
they had
that's weird.
a major investment in Destiny or in Bungie. But they acquired a minority stake in Quantic Dream, and now they've basically purchased Quantic Dream. There's a lot. I wanted to put these up because I'm starting to get a little worried
that everybody's buying everything.
like there's too much power being consolidated into like 4 players. And I know that people have been saying that, but for the most part people have been really hyperbolic about it.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, I keep looking at this stuff of just like snapping up like this is the new thing.
Well, it's every news story every week.
Right.
Somebody's bought somebody else.
Yeah.
Because before it was more like, it felt like a secret that some people were slowly amassing this.
Yes.
But now like every week it's like, and then he bought that, and then he bought that, and then he bought that. It's like, what the fuck?
Microsoft just put its wallet dick on the table.
Oh,
just
100%.
like flumped that out there. Was like, okay, let me get Bethesda and Obsidian and Double Fine, and how about Activision Blizzard? Everybody's like, oh shit, we got to start buying companies or else Microsoft's gonna get them.
They walked into that candy store about all the top shelf shit.
Well, and then I mean, like, scroll back the podcast to 6 months ago. Had the word embracer ever been on this podcast until
No.
6 months ago? And now they're just fucking going psychotic.
They're
like
fucking crazy.
So I'm not the biggest fan of this.
This weird ass trend.
Yeah. I mean, apparently, according to this, Quantic Dream is going to. They're basically they're going to be free still to do whatever they want. I can actually see the rationale behind this of somebody like NetEase, because Quantic Dream is currently working on a Star Wars game. So that will probably sell quite well, because Star Wars is one of those properties where it doesn't matter how shitty it looks, everybody fucking buys it anyway.
True, that and Quantic Dream has gotten better and better at making games.
That's true.
The last game they made, which was Detroit
Yep.
Human, it sold really, really well, and it was fucking super well received. Whereas you look at Heavy Rain, and the thing everyone remembers the most about that is yelling out Sean and Jason.
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of people don't like, or a lot of people really, really don't like Heavy Rain, Detroit.
Is that true?
Yep. Oh no. Okay. Maybe that's not true. Let me wander over into some very murky territory. I have heard a lot of.
You played the guy, from what I've heard.
No, I've heard a lot of complaints from people who are very sensitive to racial and societal matters, say that they felt that the game basically like co-opted racial rights imagery and stories and stuff, and they find that very, very, very gross, and thought it was really gross and bad. So I can't argue with that. I mean, when I played it, I really wasn't thinking about it in those terms. I was kind of
it goes the Twilight Zone route, where it's like, look, we're talking about this specific thing, but they're robots,
right?
So that's the difference.
Yeah.
So we can air it in the 1950s,
right? Yeah,
that's all it is.
I don't know.
It's a Twilight Zone story.
Yeah. And then the biggest story, Michael, this week is that Electronic Arts was purchased by Amazon.
Wait, seriously?
No, it didn't actually happen.
Oh.
It was rumored, but it didn't actually happen.
Okay. Because that would have been amazing, because the two scummiest companies on the planet fusing together into one is scary and both hysterical.
Yes. Electronic Arts has been trying to get bought for a little while.
I remember that. I remember the news story. It was right after Activision was bought.
Yep.
The news story was EA going, hey, guys.
Hey, we got
anybody want to buy us? And
everyone boxes.
Everyone was like, ew, no.
Yeah. Yeah. So the thing is, this is a VG247 story, and like this last paragraph kind of says it all. EA's business is mainly reliant on microtransactions from FIFA, Madden, and its popular sports games on consoles. Apex Legends is the publisher's biggest non-sports title, a free-to-play shooter that continues to be popular. Like, they made such a fucking mess of that new Battlefield that is still trying to wobble up on it. It's like watching a deer try to stand up for a year.
Yeah.
Like, just
Battlefield. They fucked up Battlefront so much they lost the Disney exclusivity.
Yep.
The Battlefield, of course, you just mentioned.
Yep.
They've killed most of their biggest IPs doing this dumb shit.
Yep.
And they've only slowly started trying to bring them back from the dead. Mass Effect is one.
Yep.
As well as Dead Space, and they're hoping for the best on that one.
Yeah, EA has been ruthlessly cutthroat for a long time, and I feel like what they're left with is just it's like they've cut everything that doesn't make them an immediate and huge profit. And what they're left with is they're like Activision, right? They've got like 3 fucking games, you know?
And they lost the license to one of them.
Yeah. So yeah, this was apparently like planned on happening, and then apparently it fell through. So
spent all the money on Lord of the Rings.
I mean, in some ways it would be interesting. I think it would be an interesting partnership, like if it had gone through, because Amazon has been trying to get into the gaming space for a long time, and they kind of keep fucking that up. Like,
100%.
The Two Worlds or whatever. Remember last year we had all those stories about that, but now nobody gives a shit about it anymore. They destroyed
their economy. People were bartering for shit because their economy sucked.
Remember that one news story we had that was just bots fishing? It was just like it was just
bots would show up in
60
one
people.
section.
Yeah, yep.
And then there was the fucking that one game they tried releasing, that shooter.
Yep.
That we tried playing at one point.
Oh yeah, they shut that shit down,
and we couldn't even get it to run.
Yep. My computer was much worse back then, but
still though, like it looked like garbage.
Not
no
even
matter
that.
what.
But I haven't played it. But from everything I've heard, the new Madden sucks. Like,
yeah, I saw a TikTok where somebody was like, "I've been playing Madden, and the middle of the field is the fucking like owner's box, and it showed like literally like the owner box building was in the middle of the field."
Oh God, I didn't realize it was that bad.
So he couldn't even he couldn't see, so he could make the pass. It's amazing.
It's kind of incredible. It's kind of incredible.
They just keep fucking it up. They don't know what they're doing anymore.
It's been interesting to watch so many big corporations that have been around since I was a kid. Fucking just they've been falling flat on their face for some reason. I don't know what it is. Whether it's just like they spent long enough abusing their staff until they finally just don't have any talented people anymore.
I think that's what it comes down to. Like they bought all these talented staff, and they all either left or their studios got shut down. And they're all making their own stuff now.
Like, I will never forgive the fact that EA, Electronic Arts, they purchased Bullfrog and Origin and then just destroyed them.
Oh, 100%.
We can't have a new Wing Commander. We've got to have fucking Star Citizen in 2050 or whenever it fucking comes out. We can't get another Magic Carpet. I want another Magic Carpet game, God damn it.
We can't get a lot of these things, man. It's
remember
crazy.
how they destroyed Dungeon Keeper?
Yeah.
Like, they fucked that up real hard. Like, they own Command and Conquer, for God's sake. Like,
a huge fucking name, guys.
They're like Konami. So, except they still make some games. Konami basically makes. Well, that's not even true.
EA still makes some. EA. That's the surprising thing is EA will still make games.
Yeah.
And every now and then you'll get something that's not one of those 3 games.
Right.
Which is surprising every single time.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, and they're going to make another one because people, because EA fucking. Keep fucking themselves.
No, they made that game and then they're like, "What? Are you telling me that people want to play a single player Star Wars game where you have a lightsaber? Insanity! Who would want to be a Jedi when you could be a fucking nameless stormtrooper running underneath an AT-AT for fucking 60 hours?"
And had surprise mechanics every 20 minutes.
And not just that, you remember that whole thing with Battlefront where they refused to do cosmetics because they were like, "Man, people are gonna want like a blue stormtrooper armor," and it's like, yes, we all want blue stormtrooper armor. Like, come on.
You made 2 Han Solo skins, and one of them had a beard.
Oh, my God.
Stupid.
It was so bad.
Why did you die? It's still
bad.
Nice they did that.
All right, but I think we have, if I'm not mistaken, we have one more EA shitting on EA story left to go, Michael, because apparently last week, the people that were in the beta for FIFA 23 got an update, and apparently it was just the full fucking version of FIFA. Like, it was just the full thing, like with the player cards with the stats on them, and people were like throwing up the ratings of the various players.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. So
I love that so much.
That happened.
Didn't they do that with Didn't they do that with something else?
Oh God, I feel like it. Maybe.
I swear they did that with something else.
I feel like there was another
and
one.
It might have been one of the Battlefronts. I'm not kidding. I swear to God they did that. They had somebody at one point had a beta that they ended up they updated, and it was just the entire fucking game.
Yeah.
And life of me, I can't remember who it was.
I don't remember.
I'll look it up after all this.
I don't remember. So, yeah, apparently that happened.
But it was fucking funny.
So.
And this is even funnier because this is fucking FIFA.
Well, because it's one of the fucking 3 games that they have, right? It's one of the 3 games that we just listed
And this is their last actual FIFA game because they lost the title for that.
Yeah, they're going to the EAFC from here, the Electronic Arts Football Club.
Yeah, because they wanted... Because they're like, what if we just fucking, make our game that just says soccer and then just had a bunch of these teams?
Yep.
And it worked out so far.
Yep. We'll see. Yeah, I think... Okay, no, we're not going to stop just yet. We're still a little short, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump on over from EA, a company that I love to talk shit about, to another company I love to talk shit about. Anyone guess what I want to talk shit about now?
Is it Activision again?
No, it's not.
Oh, I have no idea.
It's actually a company that I usually talk shit about, but this story is kind of a good story.
Bethesda?
Ubisoft.
Oh, okay. I was close.
This shit
way off.
This shit has been all over the place. This is one of those stories that was a rumor when I put it on here, but it was announced today. The next Assassin's Creed game is going to be called Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Yeah, I heard about some of this.
It's going to be starring Basim, who is a character from Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I don't know whether I can spoil it. There's a thing that makes Basim. Basim is a well-beloved character, and there's a reason for that, even though I'm sure you haven't ever heard of this guy before.
Idea who he is.
Let's just say that him and Kratos' son share some similarities in when it comes to Viking folklore.
Oh, okay. I was about to say it's because his dad's covered in his family's dead ashes.
Yes. So here's the thing, Michael, I don't want to get my hopes up. Remember that whole fucking bullshit I was talking at the beginning, all that razzmatazz about if you fool me? Well, I touched the Ubisoft stove and burned my hand too many times to get excited.
Fool me once, you can't fool me again, or whatever.
That's right. But do you know anything about this?
Only the fact they keep saying it's going to go back to its roots.
Yes. Do you know what that means?
I don't. That's the thing.
I have
no idea.
It is not going to be an RPG. It is not going to be open world. It's going to be more of a stealth game. It does not rely on stats and gear and things like that. It's going to be more like an Assassin's Creed game. Like an Assassin's Creed game. And I'm just like, oh, dude. And it's going to be set in like Baghdad and the late centuries, whatever. But apparently this is going to be used as the basis for some like a kind of new track of Assassin's Creed moving forward. And I'm like, yes, please.
Yes.
I would like to play the game that I really don't understand.
Maybe I'll play Assassin's Creed again.
I really don't understand.
It's fucking hell, guys.
It would be like if Call of Duty 3 was suddenly Dark Souls. And you would just be like, this isn't what I signed up for.
Yeah.
This was not why I played this game.
Well, I always remember the fucking Penny Arcade comic where it's just like, yeah, I'm an assassin, and if I jump on the guy who's slightly higher level than me, he's just going to fucking kill me.
Right.
It's like, but I wanted to be an assassin. That was the point of this.
Right.
I could sneak up on anybody and they died.
Right.
Like, why?
I don't care how experienced this guy is. I'm going to knife him in the kidneys in the 7th century. He's going to die.
Yeah, his experience will not survive my stabbing him from way above him.
Yeah.
He's not going to know I was there. That's the point of being an assassin.
You know what? I find that the gameplay from the old Assassin's Creed games was more fun. It was
1,000%
better. Like the parkour of running around on top of the rooftops, the ways you could kind of set up the assassination stuff, even the Batman Arkham Asylum style combat. For the life of me, I don't know why they traded that all in for this weird open world RPG Dark Souls thing.
At the time, it made sense because they didn't know what they were doing. A lot of people were like, well, everything is because Unity killed so much goodwill.
Yeah.
And then what was the one after that one? The brother sister one? Forgot the name of it. Syndicate.
There you go.
That one came out and it gained some for the free will, but the issue was that everyone was tired of the fact that they didn't know where they were going.
Right.
And so they were like, well, what if we change some stuff up? And that gave them a good enough idea to want that because Origin was like, well, it's the first time you didn't have a blade. So it made sense to kind of do that with that. But then the issue was that you kept going from there, and then you immediately somehow made the thing that people liked terrible so fast.
Well, I think
even trying.
I think that some of it had to do with that. Okay, so you remember the guy that made Assassin's Creed left. He made that Humanity game.
That's true, yeah.
Right? And then I think that there was one of the Gimo, it was either one of the relatives or it was one of the friends of them that was fired that came in where we had all those news stories where he was like, players want big open world where they can make their own stories. We're not going to focus on like making these really specific stories anymore. We're going to make this big open world where they can do whatever they want.
That was the whole thing.
Yeah, and I think that that's why it happened. And I'm just like, good. If they got rid of that fucking guy and somebody came on and they were just like, what if we tried just making an Assassin's Creed game where it has like a story and you're like a cool assassin regardless of whether you're level 50 or level 1.
Yeah.
You can just fucking stab people or you can just throw some money on the ground and everybody goes, money, money, money.
Well, the point of the original Assassin's Creeds were all like, well, this is a plot that is story driven because this is this person's history.
Yes.
And that's why people like that.
Yep.
There wasn't choices that, because if you're making choices and changing history, then you've destroyed the point of the Animus. And that's kind of what these games were after a while.
Also, they lost all the Animus stuff after 3. It was all fucked up. Like
none of it made any sense.
They did that dumb
after a
shit
while.
with Desmond at the end of 3, and then it was like, okay, who gives a shit about the Animus? Stop doing the Animus.
4 was like a game development thing or something like that.
Yeah.
It stuck with that idea for
like
a while.
a weird tester for Abstergo that was hacking the server.
I still don't know what the fuck happens after 3.
No, there was a whole plot in 4 where you were trying to find one of the ancients. It was like a specific guy. And he was in that time, and then it turns out he worked at that company at the end. He was like an immortal.
He was like a janitor or some shit.
It was so weird.
It was weird. It made no sense.
What the fuck? Yeah, what the fuck? And that's where we're going to stop for right now. We're going to stop on what the fuck, and then we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to answer the question of what the fuck. So stick around. Michael, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This is the last hour of things I have to do this week. We're in the final stretches. Once this gets done,
the final countdown.
I'm gonna find out what happens to Jolene and fucking soccer and fucking Laszlo and everybody. All my favorite people are on my television.
The new Harley Quinn was really good.
I kind of dropped off that a little bit, but I'll have to get back to it eventually.
An upswing.
Okay,
it's been doing an upswing lately.
Good. I was trying to get my sister to watch it, and I was showing her just clips of Bane.
Well, Bane's the best fucking part of the entire thing.
I wish there was a spin-off show that was just fucking wacky Bane.
Yeah. I want to blow up Gotham Stadium.
I am this credit card's reckoning. Oh, boy. Speaking of names that you haven't heard in a long time, Mafia is getting a new game. What's that?
They still make this?
Yeah. The last one was Mafia 3 was that Deck 13 or Hangar.
How long ago was that?
Hangar 13. That was I have to look it up. It was a while back
because they did the remakes recently.
Yes, they did the kind of the trilogy collection. Well, I guess
that was part of it too, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I guess the last one that they made was the remake of the first one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But I know that Mafia 3. Let's see.
It was quite some time ago.
It was 2016.
Fuck, that was a while back.
Woo!
Shit.
It's funny. There's I've started to go back. We're so far away from it, right? But like, I can really sense a dividing line between like things that were produced before November of 2016 and things that were produced after November of 2016.
100,000 fucking percent.
So
everything changed.
Yeah.
Because the Fire Nation attacked.
Yes, the Fire. That was what it was. It must have been the Fire Nation. No, so there was a rumor that was going around that they were going to be making another one, and this week, 2K confirmed that it was in development. We don't have any
it
specifics.
makes sense because they did that whole trilogy thing, that, like to get everybody interested in the series again.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of a good question about when is it set, right? Because like
that's true.
The first one was like the 30s, and the second one was like the 50s, and the third one was like the 70s. So I mean, there's still some in between time periods.
That's true,
and it's not like a continuity of character, but
make a 90s one.
They could do one of
90s
the
nostalgia back, Jeff.
90s Mafia. What does that look like? what was the 90s mafia?
It's Godfather 3, I think.
Oh Jesus! I was gonna say, what if they go to Italy and they do the Italian? They do the.
That's true. You could do that too. Yeah.
Golden Wind arc for mafia. Everybody knows mafia was nothing but flamboyant dudes doing like really gay poses and
Talking
purple
to
suits.
turtles.
Yeah. One of them had an airplane that came. We gotta finish this podcast so I can watch JoJo's, man. My brain is marinating in JoJo's. So yeah, good news, and then even better news. If you want, if you would like, they are putting the first Mafia is going to be free on Steam until September 5th. So by the time you hear this, you'll have maybe one day if you listen to this on Sunday. But this is also just the original Mafia, not the remaster of the original Mafia, but like the original janky-ass Mafia. This may be an unpopular opinion in the world, Michael. I don't know. I don't think you should play the original Mafia.
No, you shouldn't, honestly.
The speed limit was like 25 miles an hour.
And you had to follow that fucking thing.
And you had to do it, and then the combat was a little like...
It was not great. There's a reason why Mafia 1 wasn't the bang fucking gangbuster selling game that everyone thought it would be.
Yeah, not enough Nolan Norths. The one thing, though, that the original Mafia has is that the remake, they were not able to relicense all the music from the first one, so a lot of the music got taken out.
That's true.
For the first game. So yeah, if you're listening to this on Sunday night, or I don't know, maybe it says through September 5th in this Kotaku article, so it might be that if you're listening to this on Monday. Okay, Michael, how would you interpret this? The tweet says, get the original Mafia for free on Steam from September 1 through 5. Would you say it's still going to be available on 5, or on the 5th it's going to be delisted?
Usually that means that it'll delist that day, but it's usually whatever time frame the update would happen.
Okay.
Because a lot of game stores will say like something's free until that day.
Yeah.
And usually that means like before like 11 or 12 o'clock, depending on where you are.
Okay.
Because that's usually when the stores update.
So maybe check it. If you're listening on Monday early, maybe check it. Maybe see if you can still get it. I mean, you can always just put it in your library and then... But, you know what you can do with the original Mafia that you can't do with the remake is there are like 15 years of mods for the original Mafia.
That's true.
Including that whole like... They remade the Titanic.
That's right, yeah.
Like, just out of Mafia assets, like in incredibly granular, dumbass detail. Like,
yeah, because we had a whole story about that.
Yeah.
I want to say a year ago.
2016? No, I don't know when it was. It was a while.
It was a good chunk ago, but like we were very impressed by that. But yeah, it was the original Mafia at that point.
True. In other Steam news, this is a really interesting story, and I think there's been an update on it. I'm gonna tell you the story, and then I'm gonna tell you the potential update. I just saw a headline of the update, so I don't know everything. So last week there was an indie developer called Cowcat that came out with a game called Brock the Investigator that was an alligator private eye adventure game, and they got a huge amount of review key requests in their inbox. Now, they assumed that these review keys, this number of requests was probably not legit. This was probably people looking to sell the keys on the reseller market. So what they did was they provided them with keys to the prologue version of the game that is the first hour, and then it stops.
Yeah.
It literally is a different installer. After that, suddenly a bunch of Steam curator accounts started giving the game a bad score, started downvoting it, essentially. Now, apparently, I didn't know this because I don't keep up with the shit because Steam is a fucking hot, fiery dick of a mess. Curator accounts are not required to purchase a game in order to leave a review. So specific curator accounts are allowed to do that. So what this person thinks happened is that all these people tried to scam him. He gave them all codes. They resold these codes, and then the fucking shit rained down on them because people were like, this isn't this game. It's just like the first hour. And so they retaliated by going in and downvoting the fuck out of his game with very dubious reviews. Like they're just like, it's buggy, it crashes all the time, and it's like, well, no, it doesn't. Like, it was built on an adventure game engine, like it's not gonna do that.
There's no reason for it to do that kind of thing.
Yes. So interesting to think that When did Team Fortress 2 come out?
Long time ago.
When did Half-Life 2 come out? How long has it been?
It's been fucking ages.
Half-Life 2, that was where Steam first came about, 2004.
Yeah.
It's been 18 years, and Valve is still just like, boop-a-doo, I don't know. I'm going to film Gabe Newell handing out Steam Decks, and it's like, this is fraud, man.
Yeah,
this is like a
literal fraud.
big fat fucking scam. Like, I know they don't want to spend any money doing anything, but like, fuck. Now, I believe that the update to this was that Steam today, the day that we're recording this, banned like a huge number of curators off of the platform.
A shit ton, according to what I see here.
Let's see.
Like 9 pages worth.
Valve banned Steam curator groups identified in key reselling scams. So, yes, this all happened last week, and then it looks like, it looks like they collected all the people that did this shit, and they're banning them. All of this goes to one conclusion, though, Michael. Don't buy keys from resellers.
No.
Like, I mean, I know there are probably some legit ones out there, but like, to be honest, Humble. Buy them from Humble or wait for it to go on sale.
Very legit ones, basically.
Yeah. Also, it should be worth noting that I believe, let's just find out. Let's find out how much Brock the Investigator is on Steam.
That's probably really fucking cheap.
$20.
Okay.
$20.
That's not terrible.
Like, if you want to play a game like this, that one of the things about indie devs is that I know that we have some indie devs that do crappy crap, but like, if you look at this and it's your jam, if you're into like furry detectives, I guess these are scaly detectives, and adventure games, like $20 is not nothing. But $20 is not fucking a new console. Like, it's like you make the decision about what you want to do. It's like that news story that we had last week about that lady that was like, the price of God of War is too fucking high on the Steam store, just like bread and gasoline. And it was like, well, wait a minute, hold on, you guys. There's a dichotomy missing here.
Yeah, there's what the fuck, guys.
So yes. Also, probably don't trust Steam curators unless you actually trust them. So don't pick up random curators. Let's see. Another controversial news. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet put up their pre-order bonuses on the Amazon page. And they're such garbage that people are mocking them because it is literally 10 potions, 10 antidotes, and 3 revives.
It's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. That's such bullshit. They're not even super potions or something.
No.
They're hyper potions. So what the fuck?
Yeah, it's just like, this is shit. Like, somebody posted a comment saying like, this is like shit that you could fight the first 3 or 4 trainers in the game and have enough money to buy this.
Oh, 100 fucking %.
Like, this is not a problem. These are very low level items.
You're usually just given shit like this.
Yeah.
Early on sometimes. That's terrible.
Which apparently from this article, I don't know if this is true because I had a hard time figuring this out, but this Kotaku article said that there's a special crystal Pikachu that you can get as a pre-order, as early purchase bonus. And it's like, well, put that on there.
Yeah.
Put the fucking crystal Pikachu on there, man.
That's an actual fucking bonus.
Yeah. He's got a couple loons on his head. He can fly around and shit. It was like 10 potions.
10 potions.
I wish they could give them to me physically so I could throw them back in their face and be like, "Get the fuck out of here with 10 potions."
10 potions barely heals a level 20.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
What the hell? Come on, Pokemon.
That's terrible. 10 fucking potions.
Yeah. So, that was some dick. That was some garbage.
So stupid.
Yep. People are roasting them, and it's pretty awesome.
Too. What the fuck?
Yep. Let's see.
Wet my dick with 10 potions.
In other Nintendo news, Splatoon 3 is banning people before the game is even out yet.
Damn, that was fast.
Now, you might think that this is because people are drawing dicks on the community fucking showcase thing or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
This is actually a pretty good reason for this. Apparently, they had their demo weekend, which was like kind of the whole Splatoon.
It was the rock, scissors, paper thing.
Yeah, that we talked about. But apparently, people were using mods to clip into another area of the game that let them look at other assets in the game and like load up other stuff. And those accounts are getting banned. And yeah,
no, that's a no-brainer on that one. You fuck that up for yourselves.
I mean, God damn it, guys. Like, I don't do this shit very much, but even I know that like when you mod Elden Ring, you play offline.
When you mod anything, you play offline.
Yeah,
that's why people, when they mod Switches, they know for a fact they're never going to go online ever again.
Yep. Apparently, the cheat system is banning like consoles, like
the consoles themselves.
The consoles themselves.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It is unclear whether or not this is going to be a full ban for when the actual game comes out, or like. But apparently, Splatoon 1 and 2 both had problems with people using modded copies and cheating and stuff like that.
I'm not surprised.
So it appears that the Nintendo is trying to get. They're trying to throw the hammer down on Splatoon 3 to make sure that it doesn't become. There's nothing that'll kill your game more than if it's just cheaters and bots and shit.
Oh, 100%.
So. Yeah,
that's why a lot of people stop playing a lot of older shooters, because they just, once the company stops paying attention, that's when the monitors come in.
It's the whole problem with Team Fortress 2.
No, Team Fortress 2 has that issue. Every past Call of Duty, from whatever the current one is, has that issue. Every past fucking Halo game probably had that issue. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
it happens to every game. Titanfall 2 has that issue currently.
Oh, jeez.
Just if I remember correctly, I don't know if it still has that issue.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. From there, we did get some good news from Nintendo, or at least this is from a leaker. This is from Jeff Grubb, whose leaks tend to be pretty on point. Yeah. Says that later in September, the Nintendo's going to have a direct, but that this is going to be like a fucking big direct, like
it's gonna be the legit one.
Like that apparently there's been rumors that there's going to be a Wind Waker remake, or at least release of the Wind Waker remake on the Switch, as well as the Twilight Princess remake on the Switch, which would actually make a lot of sense because they had the Wii one, right? Skyward Sword.
That's right. The Wii
was on the Switch.
Yeah, Skyward Sword was on the Switch.
And you can think of like, boy, you remember how they put out that Mario 3-pack, right? That would be a hell of a fucking 3-pack if you could get
1,000%
Skyward Sword, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess.
They could even re-release the amiibo they made for Twilight Princess.
Yeah,
real easily for that way.
Yeah, and that this would also probably coincide with news about the new Zelda.
Yeah, actually, that's true too.
If they put all that together, they would have a hell of a direct.
Making a Zelda battle royale, they'll say.
Big Zelda direct. They're re-releasing 4 swords. 4 swords is in Switch.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means.
I don't know it's a very popular game, to be honest.
You got to connect all your Game Boy Advances to your Nintendo Switch.
You got to find 3 friends.
Yep.
To play it that way.
Yep.
Or 3 hookers. Who knows? Wherever you are.
So, of course, this is a leak, so who actually knows? But
that's true.
Nintendo has been kind of on a re-release tear, and they do have, like I said, the previous Zelda, so there is some precedent kind of going there.
It helps that a lot of some of these things that mentioned were re-released on the Wii U, which nobody bought.
Yep.
So it would make sense. It would make sense to use this hard-ass work and put it in somewhere that people actually have that system.
Which one of those 3 games would you say is the best?
Which one were they?
Skyward Sword, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess.
I was a big fan of Twilight Princess because that's the one I played.
Okay.
I didn't play any of the other 2, to be honest, because I didn't have money. I didn't have money when Wind Waker came out.
Right.
And when it got re-released, I again didn't have money, but I had a Wii U.
Okay.
And then when Skyward Sword came out, I didn't play it. I have the remaster or the re-release at my apartment, but I literally have not touched it. I haven't had a chance.
I like Skyward Sword quite a bit. I think it's kind of underrated. Like, they made Wind Waker.
Came down the controls back in the day.
Yep. Well, I played the GameCube version because remember, it was on GameCube and Wii.
No, which
it was the Twilight Princess. It was cross-platform.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Skyward Sword.
Oh, Sorry.
No, Twilight Zone is not Twilight
Princess.
Zone.
Twilight Zone.
Twilight Princess is actually really, really well regarded.
This podcast is going off the rails.
Yes, it is. Twilight Princess is actually really, really well regarded, to be honest.
Yeah.
But Wind Waker is the one that everybody usually points to nowadays.
I think Wind Waker is a little overblown, to be honest.
I think so too, to be honest. But,
the art style kind of gets on my nerves after a while. Like I like there's like everybody just wants a realistic Zelda with like gritty action and like darkness and stuff, and I'm like, yes, that is what I would like, please, thank you.
And then Wind Waker came out, and everyone was like, well, what the fuck, guys?
Yeah. Yep.
And then they made more games with that art style for a while.
And then they made Skyward Sword. Wind Waker. It went Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, Skyward Sword. Is that the?
Yeah,
was it
Wind
Twilight
Waker
Princess first was GameCube, right?
No, it was Wind Waker first.
Wind Waker, okay.
And then it was Twilight Princess, and then it was
Skyward Sword. Wait, Wind Waker was on both, right?
Wind Waker was on the
GameCube
and then it got re-released for the Wii U.
Oh, okay.
Whereas Twilight
never on the
Princess
Wii.
was the one that was on GameCube and the Wii.
Right.
And then eventually the Wii U.
Okay.
Because I had one friend who owned Twilight Princess for the GameCube.
Yeah.
And it killed his GameCube's plug somehow.
Right on.
And we were like, oh, fuck.
Nice.
Also, what's really cool is because the map was flipped, which is the same thing they did to some of the other games.
Yep. Let's see. Another big announcements that might be coming. There is a question. There's a question about whether the next Fortnite concert will be Lady Gaga.
Oh.
I didn't know this. Apparently, Fortnite is going into they have like a Pride Month kind of thing.
I heard about the Pride thing.
Yeah. It's like Rainbow Royale. So the big thing is that one of the indications. Okay, they knew there were going to be some Lady Gaga things in Fortnite because that had already been released.
Yeah.
But there's apparently like a new set of instruments that are like a jug band. It's like an XXX bottle and like a washboard.
That's fun.
And like stuff. And apparently, if you play all four of the instruments at the same time, it plays this hillbilly rendition of Poker Face.
That's amazing.
Like it's kind of like I went to listen to it, and it was just like, holy shit, that is Poker Face.
I have to listen to this later.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Well, considering that Ariana Grande has been in there, and we've got a lot of folks in there, like it wouldn't be completely off the rocker for Lady Gaga to be in Fortnite.
It would make sense. I think one of the biggest announcements was the new skin or character that they're adding as well in there.
Which one?
Dreamer. She's in that trailer that you were showing.
Oh, this one?
Yeah. So get in the middle of that trailer.
Okay.
And you'll see who I'm talking about.
She like pops out from the back. Is she a DC character?
Yeah, she's a DC character. The reason she's a big deal is that she was introduced in the Supergirl show as one of the very first trans superheroes ever.
Oh, okay.
Like they just as far as I know, she's the only like trans superhero of any of the big two. And she's become more of a big deal because of that.
Okay.
She recently ended up in the the Superman Son of Kal-El comic. And she may eventually get her own stuff as time goes on.
Okay.
So they're pushing her quite a bit, which is not bad because she is a nice character from what I've heard.
Cool.
So good for all you trans people.
Yeah. You do you.
So
do whatever.
I got Goku. You got trans people. We're a trans person in the game. So we all win, I guess? Question mark.
No, they still put Solaire in there for me. Did I get Solaire with a machine gun?
I feel like that's the thing that will make you eventually end up beguiling.
Or Solid Snake.
Game.
Like
I'm amazed that's not a thing though. Solid Snake.
Well, it's you'd have to pry Konami's fingers open to get something.
It worked for Smash Brothers that one time.
Yeah, but that was years ago.
No, the Ultimate came out with it. That was not that long ago.
I guess Ultimate had Castlevania, right?
They got Castlevania and Snake in it.
Well, because Snake was added in the GameCube
you still had to get all that stuff.
Yeah,
well,
he's got to sign
he was in the
rights.
Wii version actually. He was in Brawl, not even Brawl, it was just called Super Smash Brothers back then. Actually, it was Brawl. I think I don't remember.
Yeah, nothing is. I actually did download all that Goku shit because.
Did you?
Well, I thought we might do a video on it, but the release schedule's been so fucking packed that it's like I don't have any blank spaces. Even the Patreon videos are just like the second tier games that look really good that I can't put into the weekday slot.
So I will admit this to the internet now. I downloaded Fortnite and I bought Goku and then stopped. I did nothing after that. I bought Goku turned it off. And I was like, if I ever end up playing Fortnite, I'll have a character at least.
I went into one of the rooms where you could watch episodes of Dragon Ball and looked at that.
That's what I did too, yeah.
They had the social thing where you could go into a room and you could literally sit down in one area where you could just make the episode full screen. It was like, okay, you're just watching Dragon Ball with people in Fortnite. So.
Yeah, because I was like, I thought about asking a friend, because a friend of mine was the only reason he convinced me to do it. And then I was like, well, I just don't want to play this right now. And so I just didn't get back to it. And I never asked him to play with me. I walked around for a bit just to fuck around.
Yep.
And I was like, I don't know any of these controls.
I tried playing one round of Fortnite in no build mode, and I got stuck on a very tall place, and I thought I could jump off without damage, and so I just jumped off and killed myself. And I was like, okay, that's enough Fortnite. I'm done.
I may eventually try it, but I have Goku. He's in my possession.
There you go.
I have not touched it since.
Speaking of Fortnite, we actually got a resolution on one of the dancing lawsuit cases.
Oh, really?
So I don't know if you remember this one. This was not like any of the Carlton or
I actually
stuff.
do remember this one because we had talked about this when it first happened.
Yeah,
and that was a long time ago.
It's this guy that did this. Like they had this. It's complicated dance, and there was this guy that literally did like choreography for this dance for this video, and they put together like a whole video showing like this is the exact same thing.
It's super fucking obvious. Like,
This
there's
is
no
the
ifs,
exact
ands, or
same
buts.
thing. Yeah, like showing like the footwork, the handwork, like everything. In fact, at the end of this video, they start just like superimposing, like crossfading between the two to show that it's pretty much the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And a judge threw out the case.
Really?
Yep. The end result from the judge was basically like, because okay, one of the big things from this was that a lot of the previous dances they used were not copyrighted, but because this person was a choreographer, they literally copyrighted their dance. The judge's dismissal was basically said a copyrighted dance does not mean that like every part of it is copyrighted, and so if anybody does those steps or moves, that is copyright infringement. It means that it's copyrighted written in the context of where it is. So in the context of this video, that is where. So if Fortnite had like made that video with that dance, that would be copyright infringement. But just having somebody do the steps, even if they're the same steps, is not technically copyright infringement of what you copyrighted.
That's interesting.
Which was not necessarily the exact moves. It was more the like whole context of the performance.
That's fascinating.
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. It was interesting. Yeah.
Did they offer him V-Bucks at least?
No.
There's $20 worth of V-Bucks. Get out of my fucking face.
Here's the thing is, we'll go back to the very beginning of this. I maintain the same stance that I did with Sony earlier, and as I've done with this Fortnite shit from the beginning. Epic, you make so much fucking money, you could just flip these guys $1 million a piece, and it wouldn't impact your bottom line at all. At all. Like,
yeah.
Not even. You could just pay them royalties on every time. You could just give them 20% of what happens when anybody buys it. That would make them, like, one, happy that you did it, and then two, they would be getting paid for it, and three, you'd just be losing 20% of the, fucking dollar that you charge somebody to get the Carlton, and fucking what's his name, Carlton would be happy. I forgot
the actor's name. Yeah,
or the guy from Scrubs, right? They ripped his thing off too. Yeah,
he doesn't actually care as far as I know.
But yeah, I think he was part of one of the complaints, I believe.
No,
at some point.
He apparently jokingly said it, and then the internet took it seriously.
Oh,
I found that out because I was listening to the podcast that he does with Zach Braff, and he's like, "Yeah, I joked about it on Twitter, and then everyone took it seriously, and I had a bunch of Fortnite people after me."
Great.
And he was like, "Yeah, I actually don't give a fuck.
Don't go after the guy. Don't go after the guy that made the thing. Just because
the guy made it popular. There's a reason because it's the default dance. Is his dance by default? You get that one automatically.
I didn't realize. Let's see. Next up, speaking of shit getting thrown out, I mentioned it before, but Resident Evil is out of here.
Yeah,
the Resident Evil Netflix show, that is, not the actual video game.
I have no issues with this.
Yeah. I'm not trying to put anybody on blast, but I talked a little bit about how I watched an episode and a half of this, and how Lance Reddick as Wesker looked absolutely ridiculous to me. And somebody was like, "Well, did you watch the rest of it?" They explained why he looks like that, and I'm like, "No, because it was also a bad show." It was just like I watched Albert Wesker go to his daughter's high school and intimidate like the asshole dad of some other student that was bullying her, and I'm like, this is Resident Evil. What am I watching? Come on, you guys.
I always bring up the one that tweet that the guy everybody keeps bringing up, which is one, they mention a lot of weird shit in that show.
Yeah.
And two, there's that scene where they're Skyping, I guess, or whatever, or FaceTiming, and it's clearly they have the Paint app open, and no Wi-Fi on.
Right.
Didn't even try to hide that shit.
Yeah.
It's just fucking...
Just had a green screen.
Amazing.
Yep.
Absolutely amazing, guys.
You know what? No one in the world should be surprised. Every time Resident Evil tries to do anything but make Resident Evil games, it is garbage.
For the most part, yeah.
I mean, even like the first Resident Evil movie with Mila Jovovich, I enjoyed that movie. It is hot garbage.
No, absolutely.
Like, go watch that scene with Chris and that guy running around shooting at each other from 6 inches away, and neither one of them can shoot the other one.
That movie is amazing.
It is amazing. Terrible.
For all the wrong reasons.
Terrible, but amazing. Yeah, Resident Evil is just barely holding itself together in the games.
It's true.
It wasn't that long ago that we got Resident Evil 5 or Resident Evil 6
or Operation Raccoon City,
or the
what was the name of that one just random multiplayer one?
I was going to ask, like the Counter-Strike one that also had zombies. Yep, something like that.
The Resident Evil Core or something like that. Resident Core or something like that.
I don't know.
It was terrible.
It was bad.
It was bad. Really fucking bad.
Yeah, it was bad. Resident Evil does not have a 100% track record. Let's all be wary. This goes back to the thing at the beginning, right? Like, if Resident Evil does you good, then like, yeah, stick with it. But when it starts doing you wrong, you gotta cut your leg off.
Yeah.
You gotta fucking tie that wound off. You can't stick around with a gangrenous Resident Evil leg. You'll turn into a G virus. Or
whatever
that's
virus.
how it works.
T virus, G virus.
Turn into a Wesker.
The J virus.
Turn into a magma saurus. Let's see. So moving along from television, let's talk about television. Apparently, the first season of the Twisted Metal TV show has concluded its filming.
I forgot they were doing that. I remember hearing they announced the voice at one point for Sweet Tooth.
So, Michael, let me ask you. I'm such a dick today. I'm so tired. I'm such a raging asshole. What do you think? Bodes well, does not bode well. The Twisted Metal TV show, a Peacock exclusive.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. The second you said that, I just cringed.
Yes. Will
fuck.
Arnett as the voice of Sweet Tooth.
Well, that could go either way.
Along with Nev Campbell, Stephanie Beatriz from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and Thomas Hayden Church. You know what this reminds me of?
This is a decent cast, to be honest.
You know what this reminds me of is, you remember how they put that, it was a whole fucking season of that Dead Rising show on Crackle. It was a Crackle
God.
exclusive.
Yeah, they got Rob Riggle to be Frank West for like nothing, no scenes really.
Yep. Guys, I got to tell you, I'd love it. I would absolutely love it if this Twisted Metal TV show was great. I love having stuff to watch. I was just talking about this shit.
I also really like Twisted Metal, to be honest. But
yeah, I just don't ever think that like the lore was the main draw for Twisted Metal.
No,
like,
it was all the car fighting stuff. There was some cool lore stuff going on it because it was it was one of the first games I'd ever played that had just bad endings throughout pretty much everybody, except for like one or two people. And they were pretty funny sometimes. Like Twisted Metal 2 had some of my favorite endings. One of them was the two monster truck guys. Like, oh, we wish we could fly. And he's like, granted. And they're like, yeah. And they jump off a building and die. He's like, oh, I thought you wanted to go on a plane. And he pulls out these plane tickets. Because a lot of them were like, there were genie wishes, basically, where you say
like
one
monkey
thing.
paw.
And yeah, they're monkey paw wishes. Like you say one thing and he goes like, psych, and then does something horrible to you.
Yeah.
Except for like one guy, if I remember in Twisted Metal 2. He's like a homeless dude.
I always get I don't know why, but like I can't look at Sweet Tooth and not think of the guy from the game Loaded. You remember Loaded?
I actually do not remember that, to be honest.
Loaded was a PlayStation 1 game. It was not a good game, but the cover of the game had like this clown with a machine gun that was drawn by like
that game,
Rob Liefeld or something like that.
I
like,
remember that cover.
Yeah. And I don't, for some reason, it always reminds me of that.
I could sort of see that.
So
yeah, Twisted Metal was a weird one because like the first two were really good, and then the third one wasn't made by the people who made the first two. And then shit got weird after that.
Okay.
And then this lore lost its shit pretty quickly after that too.
We got ourselves an NSFW trailer and a release date for Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
That's right, yeah.
This, I think, actually looks pretty good. It's Studio Trigger, which I'm so on. I mean, Kill la Kill and Gurren Lagann are like some of my favorite animes of all time.
Well, their animation is always really good to look at. It more came down to like, was it worth watching story-wise?
Right.
Was the main issue they've run into as of late.
Yeah. And I don't know, this one looks like it might be able to get by. But see, okay, a lot of it isn't their fault, right? Because after those two, I tried watching Little Witch Academia, and it was just like, this isn't for me. I'm not about that.
Sometimes it's not for you.
And then I watched Promare, and Promare was probably fine if I hadn't just gotten finished watching 2 seasons of Fire Force.
Yeah.
And it was like,
that was more of like a bad time frame for it to come out.
Yeah. So the Cyberpunk universe is like looks like something that would be good for Trigger, at least if this fucking bombastic trailer has anything to say about it. Like, it's just all kinds of like screaming and blood and guts and violence and Studio Trigger smooth animation and like anime butts and stuff. Like,
well, it's more what you actually want from a cyberpunk story,
right?
Like insane shit.
Yeah,
and that's kind of the issue the game had, is it never fully felt like it leaned into it as hard as it should have.
Yeah, it was like a mediocre first-person shooter RPG.
Yeah, where this trailer is more like, this is more what I thought Cyberpunk 2077 was going to be like.
This looks more like Ghost in the Shell through Trigger, via Trigger.
And I have no issues with that.
Yeah.
As long as the story's solid, I'm actually really excited for this.
Or like Akira for 2022, like something like that. Like, and so, yeah, I'm really excited to give this a shot. And the fact that it's coming out in like 2 weeks.
That's pretty soon,
yeah. The 13th. Not this.
It also does not shy away, is the thing that I think it may make or break it, is the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, hoping it's good, because it's kind of like everything else. I didn't care as much for Cyberpunk, but I would be more than happy to watch a good show about that universe.
Yeah. Cyberpunk universe sounds amazing.
Yep. Let's see. In other funky meme news, apparently Warner Brothers might be there's some trademarks in the European Union that makes people think that multiverses might be getting big chungus.
So here's the thing. I have guarantee you Big Chungus will be in this game.
Okay.
The thing I'm most curious about is if he'll be a skin or a taunt. That's the thing I'm interested in the most.
You don't think it'll be a whole separate character?
No, because it's just Bugs Bunny. That's kind of the whole thing about him.
Giant fat Bugs Bunny. You could have a whole new moveset.
Yeah, but the whole point of fat Bugs Bunny is he's just making fun of Elmer Fudd.
Oh, okay.
At least in the context of the original joke.
Yeah.
Because this was the time frame where Elmer Fudd was like that kind of fat, almost like pin-like shape. And like it's the joke. The joke is like Bugs is fucking with him when Elmer's trying to have like a vacation, and so he puts this 2x4 over it and puts a nail on it, and he goes, "That'll do it." And so Bugs walks up, opens the thing, and goes and becomes fat and goes, "That'll do it." And then he goes, "Phooey." Okay. That's the whole joke. It's like 3 seconds kind of thing, and somebody saw that screenshot of just him and made a whole meme out of that.
Well, there you go.
And he showed up in Space Jam 2 as a quick joke, and then there's the closest thing to him being another character is there's the Looney Tunes show where Bugs Bunny just eats a lot and accidentally becomes like really fat. Okay. And that's the only other time like you could consider that like another Big Chungus.
Okay.
So I don't know what the fuck
there you go.
happened with that, but I'm just glad people still remember Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Look, keep your eyes out for a fat rabbit.
Yep.
So in that case, it would make a good taunt.
I think it would make a great taunt.
It'd make a good taunt.
Especially if he goes phooey at the end of it.
Yeah. Let's see. From there, Michael, originally we were going to have, we changed up the schedule. I'm glad you're here because I think that you know more about this story than I do. Apparently, this was an interview with an SNK, one of the SNK fighting games directors, that indicated very strongly that SNK and Capcom might be getting back together for another SNK versus Capcom.
I'm so excited at the fucking prospect of another SNK versus Capcom or Capcom versus SNK, depending on what you like the order to be.
Yeah.
Because I love that series so fucking much.
Well, apparently at Evo they had some art. They had these posters that were like 2 characters from King of Fighters and 2 characters from Street Fighter, and it said "Welcome back, Evo," and people were like, "What does this mean?"
We really hope that's what that means, because that artist specifically is known for making a lot of the art for the especially the SNK side. They, in fact, if you play Capcom vs SNK 2, you'll see that guy's art all over that fucking game.
So yeah, apparently this is what Yasuyuki Oda, the producer and designer. He was like the guy that came back to SNK and made them relevant again with 14 and Samurai Showdown and 15. Like, they had this big kind of interview with him, and to paraphrase, it sounded like he was just like, oh yeah, we're on like great terms with Capcom. We talk to them from time to time, and we've been thinking about it. Like, he actually said specifically that like right now their focus is Street Fighter 6, but like who knows, like 2 or 3 years down the line, like maybe we can they wouldn't want to do this to step on Street Fighter 6. No. Obviously,
it would be another, because it's the thing I loved about that series is it was just a great like little side thing.
Yeah,
like there was and the fact that they made one and Capcom made one. It's what Street Fighter and Tekken were supposed to do. Which was the Street Fighter cross Tekken. There was supposed to be a Tekken cross Street Fighter.
Sure.
That's why there's Capcom versus SNK, and that's why there's SNK versus Capcom Chaos, because that was the one SNK made.
Okay.
And then Capcom, they made the other one. And then Capcom versus SNK 2 was, also made by, I think, Capcom directly.
Okay.
But those 2 games, or those 3 games are legendary among fighting game fans. And people are fucking itching at the idea of another one of those. Yeah. I am fucking itching at the idea of another one. Well, I want to be able to play Capcom vs. SNK 2 again without having to fucking pull out a PS2 and have to buy that game somewhere, because that game is fucking amazing.
I'm going to talk to you later about a little thing called emulation, Michael.
Yeah, but it's one of those harder games to emulate because of all the stuff in the background.
Oh, okay.
But it has one of the best soundtracks of like any fighting game, Capcom vs. SNK 2.
Okay.
Just fucking the best.
Yeah, apparently when asked about it, he said, asked if about if they wait another 20 years, and he said 20 years is definitely too long for me. We'll try to get it done in 10.
please God, give this
to interview me. Is really funny. I recommend everybody go read it, because he just seems like a very just a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a nice dude.
Like not being evasive and just answering the questions asked to him.
He knows what the people wants.
Yeah,
and he doesn't want to say no.
Yes,
he's like, maybe, I don't know. We don't hate each other, so like we could always talk about it.
Yeah. Let's see. Speaking of fighting games, this we're not reading this whole thing. There was a PlayStation Plus for September was announced. I don't give a shit about that because it's mostly Need for Speed. No. But Grand Blue Fantasy Versus is in there, and I just wanted to say that if you have PlayStation Plus and have any interest in fighting games, you should go download Grand Blue Fantasy Versus.
It's a good game.
Michael and I played it. You go watch your dojo for it. We did 2 parts of it. I think
that game was fucking fun as shit.
Yeah,
we loved it.
It's one of those Arc System Works doing a spin-off of like a phone game or something.
I think so. If I remember correctly.
We talked about it. Looks amazing.
It was great.
Plays really interesting, and then those 3 furry triplet guys. They were like
so fucking funny.
They're the best. They're the best, man.
They were worth that game alone.
Yep. Go check it out.
Holy shit, just the best.
I don't know. Again, I feel like sometimes, Michael, I've got to look around and be like, it's so weird what everything happening in this world is weird now.
Oh, absolutely.
It's all weird now. Like Arc System Works keeps making fighting games out of like weird mobile mobile RPGs from China, and then they make like this really slick, interesting fighting game out of it. And you're like, but why?
Yeah.
Like, could somebody not pay them to do like, I don't know, like a Star Wars fighting game or a Game of Thrones fight? I mean, like, I mean,
whoever pays them, really, it seems to be at this point, they're fucking guns for hire for fighting games.
But they're
good fighting games.
They're good at it. Like, that's the thing.
It's crazy. I love it.
Let's see. In other fighting news, guess what's back, Michael?
What?
Dark Souls Online features.
Oh, that's right, because they had issues with that.
Yep.
Right.
7 months.
Is that how long it's been?
Yep.
Holy shit! I didn't even think about that.
Because they prioritized getting Elden Ring up and running.
That was February. Fuck,
Yep.
I didn't think about that.
Mhm.
And it's September now.
Yep.
Shit.
They turned them off right before Elden Ring came out because
Was it just 3 or was it all of them?
it was all of them on the PC, everything on the PC. Because
Okay.
the thing wasn't on the PC that netcode had a hole where you could remote execute things on people's computer.
That's right. Yeah.
Like the guy, there was the guy Twitch streaming, and somebody, this guy that had been trying to get them to fix it, literally like went into his stream and started like executing Visual Basic script on his computer during his stream, and the guy's like, what the fuck? And so they cut that shit down, but then it was right before Elden Ring, and it was like, we'll get to it. And this is like the story. You'll notice that I said Dark Souls 3.
Oh shit! That
Not
means...
2 and not 1. Just 3 is back
Fuck.
up. So
Damn.
yeah,
That's gonna be a while from now.
in some cases I'm like this was one of those hacktivist things where this guy was like, you guys got to fix your net code, and then they didn't do anything, and he's like, I'll show them, I'll like publicly make a big display about how loose it is, and they were like, okay, we'll shut the servers down. When are they going to be back up? It's like, we'll let you know. I mean, fucking
It was just bad timing.
like
That was bad timing on the or not even on his part. It was just they should have listened to him.
Yeah.
But they probably were so busy they just didn't even think about it.
Yep. And last but not least on the news parade, this was a rumor that was then confirmed today. There is going to be an Xbox Game Pass Friends and Family plan, which will allow you. I don't have the details on this. This was a rumor story when I brought it up because there was a leak of the logo for it. But apparently there's going to be a new plan where you can get multiple people kind of on one account. Let's see if I can
Which
read
makes
this
sense
fast
because
enough.
that's very much Nintendo's had that for a while now.
Yeah.
I'm amazed this hasn't been a thing, to be honest.
Yeah, it's interesting. It makes me think that if there's so regular Ultimate is like $15.
Yeah, about a month.
And I think it's going to be like 20 or 25 for the Friends and Family plan. And I don't
That's
know.
not bad at all, actually.
I don't know how many. Let's see. It's likely to be around that.
Is it up to 4, maybe?
Is that what it said?
That's what the headline said or something.
You know what it said?
There's a headline somewhere that mentioned it.
Is it
when
one of these
you
previous
searched
ones?
for it.
Anyway, here, let's see. This is an IGN article. Maybe you can fucking get to the point faster. Blah, 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 blah. Pricing will share cost of multiple people. It says multiple people. I don't really know.
I saw something that said 4. I don't remember where it was,
Yeah,
but
it makes me want to upgrade my version just to be like, does anybody out there have an Xbox not have fucking Game Pass? Because
that's fair. Mine came with it though when
Yeah.
I bought mine because I did the financing.
oh
And
yeah,
it came with 2 years worth of it,
shit.
which which made the financing really expensive
yeah.
because it made the console go from like 500 to like 900 or something
shit.
like that.
Oh wow,
It was massive, but either way, that was like I did no qualms with that.
Yeah.
because I'm like 2 years worth of Game Pass is pretty good.
Game Pass pays for itself. Like unless you're just not playing your console,
Yeah.
Game Pass will pay for itself. One $60 release every like 4 months will pay for Game Pass.
I haven't even had the
Like,
system for a year. I got it when Halo Infinite was coming out. If I
Oh yeah,
remember
that was
correctly.
like holiday last year, right?
Yeah, something like that. If I remember correctly, that's when I got it. So I still have like another year on it.
Trailer time. I didn't send Michael any of these trailers. He hasn't been able to look at these trailers, but these trailers are rad. The first trailer that we got a combat trailer for Atomic Heart. Oh god damn it! I had a whole transition. Speaking of Game Pass,
This is a game I'm looking forward to a lot. Though.
going to be on Game Pass. This is this fucking absolutely psychotic looking BioShock Fallout first person crazy robots and Russian weird shooter thing. Like if you think I'm being weird, just go look at a trailer and you'll see like it's just berserk.
It had
Everything
a
looks
really
crazy.
good trailer a while back that I had a great fucking song on it.
Yeah, the whole game looks like it was made by an AI. Like, it looks like the kind of insane shit that you get of like AI generation.
It looks kind of amazing though.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait to play it. It looks absolutely nuts. Like, it's gory and it's weird and it's full of like craziness and it appears to be a lot of like killing robots, but also they have blood. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Like,
There's some insane shit going on in this world.
it's so weird. Yeah. So, Atomic Heart. Yeah, there was a 3-minute combat trailer from Gamescom for this. It just keeps going on and on and on and on and on and on and on, and it all looks absolutely berserk.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I know it got delayed at one point, but it's very exciting.
Yep. Which is coming out. When is it coming out? Do we have a release date for that one yet?
I don't know. I don't think so because of its delay.
Was it delayed?
I could have sworn it was delayed. Due to
this game is planned for release
Q4, so that could be at any point at the end, towards the end of the year, or maybe even the beginning of next year.
I think it's it could be it could be later this year, it could be early next year. So
think about Q4. You never know.
Yep. Q4 keeps going. We got 12 minutes for out of IGN. We got 12 minutes of Lies of P.
Timothy Chalamet. That's what I thought he looked like.
Which was really okay. First off, I don't know why I try to watch other people play Souls games. It just makes me mad. I know I know how people feel when they watch us play Souls games.
No, I get it. Yeah.
But mostly it's like, dude, use the thing. It's like that sorry, there's a new Bee and Puppy Cat thing, so I went back and rewatched the original Bee and Puppy Cat. It's use the sword. Use the sword like a sword. Like, the person playing this is just like, they're not good at dodging. They're not good at like blocking. This is very, like, people like to say this is Bloodborne. It's not. It's very Souls. Like,
it's
not
very Souls. It's the aesthetic that's just Bloodborne as fuck.
The aesthetic is Bloodborne. The combat is that kind of stiffer Souls like type of combat, as opposed to the like really mobile, agile Bloodborne combat. This might be the difference for some people listening between like, oh no, it's not one of those regular Angus beef burgers, it's a Kobe beef burger. Like, it may be a distinction that doesn't ring true, but like, it's just stiffer, and like, everybody keeps saying it's Pinocchio and Bloodborne, and it's like, well, it's Dark Souls, Pinocchio, and Bloodborne.
Yeah, it's a mixture of a bunch of stuff together.
Yeah.
You got my Bloodborne and your Pinocchio, and you got your Pinocchio and my Dark Souls.
Yeah,
it's just it looks fucking fascinating.
Most of the enemies are just these weird like puppets, but then there's a lot. They show a little bit of like changing out. Like, it's kind of got a Sekiro. Like, the left arm is cybernetic, and so you can put different things on it. It's like one of the things that they show early on is a grappling hook that you could literally like spear a dude and yank him over to you and then attack him.
That sounds awesome though.
Yeah. I'm interested because one of the things I'm noticing though from this trailer is that the combat looks like it's kind of fast like Bloodborne, but the movement doesn't look fast like Bloodborne.
Yeah.
And the enemies don't seem to stagger, so they appear to just attack right through your combos, which is something I'm not a big fan of either whenever Souls games try to do that, just to make it more hards. So, but yeah, IGN has a full 12-minute thing up. Any thoughts, Michael? You haven't had a chance to watch any of these, so I was trying to just gloss over you there.
No, the thing about this is I love the way it looks, because this is one of my favorite things. It was one of the main reasons I played Bloodborne.
Yeah,
I was such a big fan of its aesthetic that I was like, well, I'll definitely give this a shot. Where Lies of P, it's like, well, depending on how the gameplay plays on this one, might make or break it. Because when you have a game like this and everybody has like no fucking stagger at all, it makes it much more difficult to enjoy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's not as
it means you have
annoying,
to play it like really conservatively.
Yeah.
And which can be not fun but irritating.
Exactly. And so if it becomes one of those things where it's like, well, depending on your left arm, it might be like a more exciting than maybe, but I don't know. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Like, even that gun arm thing, like, that he just did, took a while.
Yeah.
And if there's multiple enemies, that's not fucking all that interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of, like, the dirty little secret, Michael, is that a lot of people want to copy Souls, but it's harder than it looks.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like, no, I can make my own fighting game, and then it's like, oh, this is trash.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
It's those guys that are like, it's a combo if you punch a guy and you stay still to make it work. It's like, no, it's not how this works.
By the way, I know Michael and I from time to time will talk about Matt Muscles, but you should definitely check out the Worst Fighting Game of All Time series. Is great.
It's amazing. It's one of my favorite things I've ever watched.
Very good. Let's see. We also got a trailer, a very brief trailer for Steel Rising, the other Clockwork Puppet midi or like Victorian style game. Except this one's coming out this month. So
okay.
This one is just showing a variety of different like landmarks in Paris. Many of which I don't know because I'm not a Parisian.
Yeah, I've never been to Paris.
But this game looks like it. I don't know. This is one of those like, ooh, it could be good. Ooh, it could be good. It's giving me a lot of hope, but
it's a lot faster than Liza P is as well. Also, it's a little brighter.
Yeah,
like its aesthetic is still kind of that Bloodborne, but everything's easy to see.
Yeah.
So that might actually make it a little better.
It's also, I think, I don't know anything about the plot of Liza P, but I do know the plot of Steel Rising, where it's like, what if when the French Revolution was going to happen, the aristocracy built a bunch of clockwork soldiers that put down the uprising, and then like you were like terminated, like you're terminated by the uprising and then reprogrammed to like take down the aristocracy. So it's literally like the Clockwork French Revolution Civil War, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. I want to play that.
That sounds awesome, actually. Yeah,
like,
that's a great fucking idea.
What the fuck that is, but I'm down. Sure. We got a boss fight from Gamescom for Solstice. I feel like I'm the only person in the world who knows about Solstice. This thing was literally announced this year, and it was like anime lady who looks like Cloud with an eye patch with a ghost sister, third-person action-adventure Darksiders. Again, I feel like I'm writing an AI prompt here, but
yeah, it still sounds like a Mad Lib.
But this is like a third-person action game, and it looks like anime as fuck, and very like kind of God of War, Devil May Cry, kind of big action adventure. And I like what I'm seeing. I like everything here is giving me good vibes. Like I'm just
I remember this now based on like the way looking at the character.
Right.
But yeah, this looks great.
Yeah, this whole boss fight goes. It's interesting because there's kind of like this giant head that splits in two and then has like another guy inside of it that seems like he's made mostly of teeth.
It's kind of it's freaky as hell to look at, but it's a really cool design.
And there's a lot of like, we don't have the audio up, but there's a lot of shit talking from this giant head face.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a lot of like and a lot of like noun soup of things I don't know about, and then it kind of turns into like a big stage battle. I miss it when like I like Souls games, but I miss it when every game was not trying to be Souls games, when you just had like third-person action games. Like
I miss it when everybody wanted to be Devil May Cry.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah,
because people wanted to be Devil May Cry, and you got some really crazy shit out of that.
True, like Never Dead. And there's also kind of like a big it kind of ends with like a big like kind of power up move, I think, or maybe that was earlier. Anyway, it looks good. Like I think that this game should be on more people's radars because they announced it, and I think that what they announced looks absolutely rock solid. Oh, there we go. This was kind of like an ultimate. Oh, it's like an ultimate move to do more damage, and like I like the way that it's kind of like a low. It reminds me a lot of Darksiders of just like, what the fuck is this? This looks fun. Where did this come from? I've never heard of this before.
I could definitely see that.
One of those like, you guys, no, really, go play it. It's really good.
Actually, I do look forward to this. This looks pretty cool still.
So. We got a gameplay trailer for Wolong Fallen Dynasty. This is the Team Ninja thing after Nioh.
Oh yeah,
that they're making. And speaking of Souls, this is this looks a lot like Sekiro. Like a lot like Sekiro.
Yeah.
Also, there's
not like insane
tiger that stands on its hind legs to fight you. It's a very brief trailer, but I like what I'm seeing. I'm cautiously optimistic. Say what you will about Team Ninja, but they know how to make a spooky, scary fucking monster. And I don't know, this looks pretty good. Speaking of spooky, scary monsters, the goddamn Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are crawling out of the sewer for Knockout City Season 7 for some reason.
I guess they have so many fucking crossovers.
Yeah,
they cross over to fucking everything.
I'm completely flabbergasted. The Knockout City is still a thing.
I am too.
And I'm equally amazed that they were able to get the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to be in it. Like
that, I'm actually not amazed by it, to be honest.
I wonder if they started because didn't they get cut loose by EA, the developers on this? Did we have that story a while back?
Yeah, they were able to finally be their own peoples, I guess.
Yeah. So I wonder if this deal got made before that happened, or if you can just, I don't know, is this like a cameo thing? You just call up, who owns the Ninja Turtles?
Nickelodeon does.
Okay, you just call Nickelodeon, you're just like, hey, can I have the Ninja Turtles for a weekend? And they're like, not this weekend, but next weekend, Thursday would be great. Could you do it on Thursday?
I think so at this point, because the Ninja Turtles have been in Smite, they've been in Brawlhalla,
yeah,
they've been in Injustice 2.
True.
They've had a crossover with Power Rangers.
Yep.
Batman, the Ghostbusters. I don't know if they have a Transformers one, but I would not be surprised if they do.
Uh-huh.
They announced another Power Rangers one.
Uh-huh.
Here's the thing. There are 3 Batman ones, two other Batman ones that are the animated series ones.
Yes.
And there's a Batman movie with the Ninja Turtles where Troy Baker is both Batman and the Joker. So
Is Troy Baker is that going to be like the video game industry where Troy Baker just starts absorbing people to get their powers, and then eventually every voice actor is just Troy Baker and he can just do all the voices now?
Well, it'll be one final showdown between him and Nolan North, who's done the same thing on the other side.
Sure.
And then it'll just be one giant battle, and then
all while John DiMaggio just smokes in the corner.
Yeah.
Just like,
he's over by the fucking Gears of War booth doing fine.
like him and Maurice LaMarche just hanging out.
Yeah, exactly. They're the only two they can't absorb by default.
Yeah. Let's see.
Because he absorbed Orson Welles years ago.
From there, we got a full release date trailer for A Little to the Left, a game which I feel like, again, I don't know how many of these indie games that I really know about, other people know about.
I have no fucking clue what this is.
Yes, you do. I've shown this to you multiple times. This is the one where they you have a bunch of pencils and you've got to put them in order.
Oh,
or
this
you've got to
game.
stack up a bunch of mail with some pads and stuff to make little piles of stuff.
I remember this now.
Yeah. So, and then there's also a cat that will just come in and knock all your shit off after you've put it all in the best place. Like just a cat paw will come in and just be like, bam, like fuck your shit. And so they announced the release date, which they hadn't had before. So it's going to be in November 8th of 2022. Bold of them to go up against the Holiday Crush, but the
power of the cat, man.
Yeah.
The cat will sell this game.
The year of the cat.
Yeah.
2 games makes the year of the cat.
It worked for Luigi.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, you remember the year of Luigi?
This is supposed to be the summer of Luigi.
We got fucking...
What?
We got
what? Super Luigi Brothers?
No.
Dr. Luigi?
Yeah, we got Super Luigi's Brothers, Dr. Luigi, and fucking Luigi's Mansion 2.
Yeah.
That was the year of Luigi.
Fucking year of Luigi.
Did not do well for him.
In more exciting news for you, Michael, Gungrave Gore has released.
Yes, finally.
And a full big trailer that showed off all the different characters and a bunch of it had German subtitles because it's a Gamescom trailer.
Strange, but okay.
Showing off all the different characters and all the
Bungie alive again?
Crazy moves. I don't know. Well, said it. I don't know. Is this a prequel?
I don't know. I doubt it, considering. But I want it. I want it bad.
Yep. November 22nd.
Okay.
What they're doing right now, Michael, is they're doing my job for me where it's usually right around the 3rd week of November, nothing else comes out. But now they're loading up November, and I'm sure that December will be next. So...
Jeff, you're lucky I didn't ask for a full playthrough of the Gungrave games.
Well... Wish I could, my friend, but Elden Ring is our new sequential. Actually, you know what? By the time we get to that, we might be done with Resident Evil 2. Who knows?
Gungrave 1 and 2 are really short, though.
Who knows?
Gungrave 1, you could finish in an afternoon, to be
But
honest.
this is a whole new one, right?
Yeah, this is the third, or it's technically the fourth if you count the VR game.
Yeah.
But I don't because I never played it.
That was just a remake of the first one, though, right?
Yeah, it was mostly a remake of the first one with some stuff from the second one, I think. But this seems to be a sequel to the third one. Although Bungie was like kind of a zombie dude in the last. I don't know. I'm really excited though because I love the Gungrave series. I've been playing the Gungrave series since I was in high school.
Yep.
Once I discovered the first one at an EB Games, this is how long ago it was. Those EB Games had a used copy of Gungrave 1, and I kept staring at it because it was the art designer was the guy who did Trigun. For it. And
Yeah.
I was really excited. And
What,
so,
you told me the guy carrying around the giant coffin reminded you like the big coffin shaped item? No.
yeah, so they I bought it with like change. And then I played the shit out of the first one, and then my brother bought me the second one for Christmas of that year because my parents didn't have a lot of money at the time.
Sure.
And so I remember being mad originally because I was hoping to get a Dragon Ball game that year. And then he gave me that game, and it was just like, okay, this saved Christmas for me.
Yeah,
Because I found out. Luckily, after that, I found out the reason my parents had money is they were saving it to buy me a DS that January for my birthday.
Okay,
and so it was just like felt super bad because I had reacted poorly that Christmas.
Yeah.
Because it was the year Budokai 3 came out, which at the time was known as like the best fucking Dragon Ball Z fighting game at the time. Even actually for a lot of people to this day, a lot of people love that game. And yeah, so they made an anime, which I don't really like the anime because Grave talks a lot in the anime, and he's a mute character for the most part. So yeah, I'm very, very excited for this.
It looks fucking rock and roll, man. I can't wait to give it a shot. So
super excited.
Yep.
I hope it keeps the theme.
Yep.
Because I love that theme a lot. God, I love it.
We got a full Shovel Knight Dig release date.
Is that fucking Ego Raptor?
Yes, it was with Ego Raptor and The Completionist. I don't know. I don't really watch Ego Raptor.
I highly recommend The Completionist. He's great.
I recognize that.
He talks about like how long it takes to beat a game and all the cool stuff you get.
Oh, there you
for
go.
Doing it.
Yeah, he comes in dressed as Shovel Knight, and because Ego Raptor's like, I'm bored, and he's like, do you want to go on an adventure? And he's like, really? Right now? Like right now, now, and it's this whole fucking thing. And then he makes him go out and dig up the release date for Shovel Knight Dig. Yeah. So Shovel Knight Dig is coming out in September. It's coming out September 23rd.
Turtles are in a Shovel Knight game. I doubt it, but I feel like it. I feel in my bones it might have been a thing.
I don't think so.
But Kratos was in a Shovel Knight game.
Yeah.
As was
Baz,
and there was one other guy, but I don't remember who it was. Because every console had like a version of it that had a boss that was specific to them.
Yeah. This is one of those spin-offs like the Match 3 one, but it's like all digging down instead of like a side scroller, and it's got more of like a kind of a Super Nintendo look.
That's fun though. That's a fun idea.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see because right now I'm not entirely sure if I'm interested in playing non-Yacht Club games, Shovel Knight games.
Yeah, that's
because
true,
the Match 3 one was like, or the puzzle one, it wasn't Match 3, but
we were a little disappointed by it.
Yeah,
because we were more excited by that one where that was just bloody as fuck. You remember that one?
Oh yes, I do. I don't
that
remember what it's called.
That was a match game. Oh,
yeah.
fuck.
This is also going to be on Apple Arcade because it's on mobile. So if you have an Apple Arcade subscription, you can just get it. Yeah. And then let's see, a couple more things. We'll be done here. Rocksmith Plus is coming out September 6th. That's the
I forgot that was a thing.
Rocksmith as service thing that you can do through a phone or whatever you want.
People really like Rocksmith though.
Yep. Apparently, I was looking at this article and it said that it's going to be like, well, it's in pounds, but it's $12.99 for a 1 month subscription. I'm like, are they going to charge $15 a month for Rocksmith? Like,
they might. It might be all licensing shit. It might be the issue.
Well, it also might be niche enough that people will pay that. So
I don't know about that, but I don't know. But it's all licensing, I assume. That probably makes it as expensive as it is.
Maybe. Let's see. Then bad news, everybody. The Jet Set Radio style game Bomb Rush Cyberpunk has been delayed until next year.
No, that's unfortunate.
Yep.
I have a friend who loved that series, so he's probably bummed by this now.
I mean, they couldn't, like, the tweet that they put out about the release. We are convinced that releasing the game this year will not take it to a level where we would be personally satisfied with. To create a fulfilling and unique game, we are extending the development time of Bomb Rush Cyberpunk December 2023. Hey, man, if you need longer to make your game go better, we mentioned what happened before, and seriously, I can't count the number of games that were ruined by just putting them out too early. They need another year. Like, that was
100%.
So common. So
what's going on with Halo Infinite right now, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Time for some fun stuff. A French console collector is selling basically every console ever made on their version of eBay.
Oh, my God.
Apparently, this was a thing where this was like their hobby, and then they like stopped doing it for a little while, and then they took a trip to Japan to was like Akihabara or whatever, where they have the electronic stores. And they found like the thing that they were missing that made them stop, and then so they just started back up again. And
that's how it happens. That's how it starts, guys.
Yeah, eBay, just French eBay. These are all consoles. These are all Nintendos. Like, there's pictures of these are really fun to look at. The buy it now for this is like $1 million.
Oh, wow.
But you know, you're looking at like this. These are just like, because the thing is that it's not like one Nintendo, right? It's like a Nintendo, the Nintendo Action Set, the Nintendo Action Set like redo.
Speaking of Ninja Turtles, he's got a Nintendo like Turtles edition.
Yeah, like here's the Pokemon version of the N64. Here's another Pokemon version of the N64. Here's like the 007 version of the N64. Like, if you go, these are just Nintendos, but like there's like several different Virtual Boys. There's like so many GameCubes. Like, look at all these fucking GameCubes.
Holy shit!
Like, there's so many, and that's not even going to like
Metal Gear one.
Where
The GameCube. Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe
it's the Twin Snakes edition, probably.
Yeah, there's Metroid Prime one. So like, it's not just one of each. It's like fucking just like, look at all these original Xboxes down here at the bottom. It's just like all of, there's an Ouya
Fuck me
in the back, and that's not even going through like this. These are all DSs, like just all the DSs that they ever put out.
This sucker belongs in a museum.
Yeah. So I'm sure this is going to get bought up. These are TurboGrafx's. But
I hope somebody buys this and just puts them all on display somewhere, like a museum of some kind.
It'd be really cool.
Because that would be just fucking fantastic. Because there's like a very small one at the Toys Museum here in Austin.
Yep.
That's like some games up to a certain point, or some consoles at least up to a certain point. But seeing these on display would be fucking just gorgeous.
Oh, look at that PSP Go. I got one of those motherfuckers somewhere in this house.
Oh my God. I forgot about the PSP Go.
PSP Go ruled, man. It was great. Like,
people talk about modding them all the time nowadays.
I didn't talk about Vita modding more than that, but
they talk about modding them all anyways.
But the PSP Go was the Switch way ahead of time, man.
It was. If PlayStation hadn't fucking just dropped Vita on its head like immediately,
they're so bad.
They would have cornered the portable market pretty quickly.
I mean, I think they should have just kept going with this idea, because the PSP literally had a dock that had a component out that would connect to your TV, and you could sync a PS3 Bluetooth controller up to it. So I played Peace Walker on my TV 5 years before the HD edition came out with a full controller, and I spent like $275 on Sony Electronics to make it happen. But
they
it was
gave
just
up
like
on it so fast.
Yeah.
And one of the issues was its price, or its pricing. I mean, not just the price; it was its memory price.
Yeah.
Because at the time, a lot of PlayStation products all needed Sony specific PlayStation memory cards.
Yeah, I remember that.
Especially the PSPs. And they were always stupid fucking expensive.
Yep.
For like no good reason. When the DSs and the Switches and stuff, or not DSs, actually even the Switches and stuff came out, they're like, whatever fucking memory card SD you can find, we'll just fucking work on it.
Yeah.
So like they were like, so when they sold their brand ones, they were still kind of expensive, but they had like the Nintendo logo and shit on it. Whereas I just went to eBay or Amazon, bought a 400 gig one for like the 128 it costs at a Walmart.
Yeah.
And it works fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
It is. And last but not least, This would have. It's funny when I put together this news this week, Michael. There were things in here that were for you, and there were things in here that were for Amanda. But I have one thing that would work for either Michael or Amanda, and it is the latest Spider-Man mod of one Kermit the Frog.
Oh my God!
Have you seen this yet?
I heard about this because Dan Slott himself fucking tweeted about this.
Yeah.
For you guys who don't know, Dan Slott is a giant prolific writer for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And he tweeted out this going, I need this.
Yeah, watching him.
Somebody voiced this clip too, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And it's really fucking funny.
But watching Kermit swing around is kind of amazing. I love all of the modding. I think it's funny because not every game gets the mod love, but like this is the one where it's like we will put everyone in there because it makes no fucking sense. What the fuck sense does it? Kermit the Frog has never swung around the city.
Oh, dude, I saw my favorite one that I saw that was nonsensical to me.
Yeah,
was I didn't know this existed. So somebody made a Better Call Saul.
Oh yeah,
because what they did was they got the model from a mobile fucking game that they made for either Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. And they added him. They used that model and added it to the game.
Yep.
For him swinging. And I was like, oh my God, like that's just fucking insane.
It's a bad model too of him. It's so low poly. It's so like low rent and shit.
Yeah, because it's a mobile model.
Yeah.
But it looks like the fact that it moves with everything is
like
crazy.
Bob Odenkirk swinging around.
And my favorite one is somebody modded in the Spider-Man PS1 model.
Oh, I think I saw you like tweet about that or something.
Yeah, I was I was
it.
just happy because I'm like, this is my nostalgia button getting pushed hard.
Yeah.
And the Spectacular Spider-Man ones are really cool too.
Yeah.
God, they made these people have like the modders for this game have gone fucking above and beyond, and I can't help but love them for it.
Yep. Are you gonna buy? Are you gonna buy a PC yet?
God,
buy PC?
It's tempting every time I see a new one. Every time I see a new one, I'm just like, man, I might just fucking do it.
And you already played Spider-Man how many times? 3 times?
At
all
least
the way through?
four times now. Because I did it twice on normal PS4.
Yep.
One to play it once. The other time was New Game Plus to make those covers the first time.
Right.
Again when the PS5 version came out.
Right.
And again to make more covers for the PS5 version. And then I played Miles Morales the one time. Is the only one I've only played once so far.
Okay.
And I'm thinking of going again to make more covers.
Well, there you go. And that is the podcast for this week. A boring podcast? No, absolutely not. Not a lot of news, but we made it work. So, yeah. Patreon.com/RageSelect. Michael, tell the people they can find you.
You can find me on oneofus.net. We do a lot of movie and television reviews. My latest review I think is still League of Super Pets. I'm supposed to do a review for Confess Fletch eventually. Okay. So I will mention that, or I'll try at least putting in the Discord as well whenever that comes out too.
Okay. Yep. And that's all she wrote. I'm gonna my Friday night starts now. Everybody get out of my house. Listeners, get out of my house. Stop. Go. You go. I stay, you go. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.